Yeah, that's crazy. Can't make it up. Boy, thumb got a muscle in it. Running right on by there, boy.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to the worldwide family and all those that may be listening close and afar off. I want to say peaceful Sabbath to you. And y'all know how we getting it done, y'all. We still in quarantine. It's supposed to loosen up this coming Monday. So y'all, right now, everybody down here know what the deal is. Y'all know what it is. We face toward Holy Jerusalem. Men uncover their head, women cover their head within the assembly. We lift our hands up high. Verse 10. Y'all, so at 1 Kings 8, we have our direction. So with that, we're going to get it going, y'all.
Right, y'all, we're going to get this opening prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, but we call him Jesus the Christ. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 51st chapter, it reads, have mercy upon me, O Yah, according to thy loving kindness, according unto the multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee, thee only, have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice. Hide thy face from my sins, and blot out all mine iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O Yah, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with thy free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors thy ways, and sinners shall be converted unto thee. Deliver me from blood guiltiness, O Yah, thou Elohim of my salvation, and my tongue shall sing aloud of thy righteousness. O Yahweh, open thou my lips, and my mouth shall show forth thy praise. For thou desirest not sacrifice, else would I give in. Thou delightest not in burnt offering. The sacrifices of Yah are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O Yah, thou wilt not despise. Do good in thy good pleasure unto Zion. Build thou the walls of Jerusalem. Then shalt thou be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offerings and whole burnt offering. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thine altar. Hallelujah! Say that!
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Woo! That's how we get in
Say
the
Shabbat
spirit.
Shalom again to all the family. And y'all know how we get down, y'all. Y'all got any questions or concerns out there in the audience, y'all, definitely put your hand up. Live stream, so to speak, or what's the term for that? Thumbs up? What's the term? Put your hand up in the live stream.
Put your hand up.
Yeah, put your hand up. Okay. Yeah. You know, if you got any questions or concerns, y'all, we'll roll accordingly. But today's lesson, y'all, we want to touch on, since we are in this time of trouble, and could be the beginning of troubles for us as a people and for the world. So the name of today's class is The Last Enemy. Y'all, what we're talking about, who's an enemy to the Most High, that we must have perfect hatred for. This enemy, y'all, we got to have perfect hatred for him, so he's the last one. He has to be around. He's almost like a necessary evil, y'all. This last enemy we talking about, and his name is called death. There's forms for this enemy. There's times when it's required that he show up. There's times that where he may cause a man to force him to show up outside of the law. So y'all, we want to get a handle on him, because guess what? This last enemy is still around while Satan is locked up for 1,000 years. This enemy is still on the loose for 1,000 years. But we're going to get into some things to understand that time, y'all, because can the millennial period last 1,000 years? Yeah, if we in this body, but Most High says it's only one day to him.
That's right.
The millennial period can last one day to the Lord, because that's what he said the numbers are, don't it?
Yes, sir.
So it could be overnight, so to speak. But we're going to get into some things today to understand the last enemy from the Melchizedek order, because that's where it got its origin, because there was a war in heaven way before planet Earth ever thought about warring. So we got to always remember that, and there was some deaths taking place because the death penalty was handed out.
Yep.
So y'all, we want to get into a few things. We're going to hit it from a few topics: how evil get in there, how it applies, how, you know, you got to be careful that you don't make threats to anyone concerning sending them this angel, that once he's appointed, you can't call the order back.
Right.
See, Judas played with this death angel
Yes, sir.
for 30 pieces of silver.
Couldn't turn it back.
Couldn't turn it back. So y'all, we're going to get to the start of this thing, y'all, and we always, y'all, as we continue under the order of Melchizedek, to look at everything from the law perspective. And it said you cannot do it any other way but look at it male, female, free and bond, Jew and Gentile. It's going to consume rich and poor, because the law don't care what your status is.
That's right.
Rich or poor, free or bond, if you're a woman or a man, everything for transgression or sin to be put on the table must be transgression of his commandments, which constitutes sin. So let's get it straight. And that's and what's the wages of sin?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, who coming?
Yeah.
This last enemy, y'all, we want to know when he comes. Sometimes he comes, yeah, just put it right over there by the block. Sometimes when he comes, you know, you may ask him to come. So y'all, that's why we want to understand the many facets of it, because he say, I will not put on you more than you can bear. Some people say, Lord, it's enough. So at that point, so this is why I'm saying death must be looked at with perfect hatred, because if it's an enemy, we have to know and make sure we don't curse death the wrong way, or we can bring it upon ourselves. Give me some Psalm 139, 1 and 2, and just get the definition, so where we get some understanding of perfect hatred. Is that what I want to? Yeah, that's it. 139, 1 and 2.
Yep. 139 by 42. Yep.
Yeah, and I just want the understanding of Perfect hatred, y'all, because this is the only way we can hate, because there's a line you can't cross. You have to love your brother. You can't hate your brother. Most I say, how you gonna love me and hate your brother? But the key word is still brother. So it has to be defined what a brother is.
Right.
Just because he look like you, just because he's from the same tribe as you, this may not be your brother.
Just
Because this thing is spirit and truth.
Just because y'all got the
Not
same,
flesh and blood.
if you got the same mother and father, that don't necessarily
Hey,
mean your brother.
boy, come on.
Esau was a brother, wasn't
Yeah,
But to
he? Cain was
somebody,
a brother.
yeah. So y'all, we get some clear understanding today. What you got, bro? Read that.
Psalms 139, verse 21.
What it say?
Do not I hate them, O Yahweh, that hate thee.
See, so the first thing is, you hate who hates the Most High. Y'all, it's some haters of the Father and Son.
They keep hating on the Father.
Boy, you know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? I hate them with perfect hatred.
See, it has to be some enemy that's rising up against the Father. You may have created the enemy that's rising up against you now.
right.
We're talking about somebody that rises up against its creator, Satan. Let's understand that. You have to have perfect hatred. But you can't hate him because you don't like him. Or, you know, it's something else personal. No, you have to have perfect hatred, especially with your brother, y'all. That's why this law is 4 sides, y'all. So we're going to get right into it. I just want to throw that out there, y'all. So when we have perfect hatred for the enemy of the Father, which is death, we're going to get some understanding today, y'all.
Well, you jingling them kids like a janitor.
Well, so
I didn't even look. I thought it was mine.
He got him on it like a janitor.
Well, I'm finna say that toilet running in there, they just send him down. Just messing with you over there, bro. Let's get it, y'all. 1 Samuel chapter 2, we're gonna see who has power over this enemy that allows us to have perfect hatred. So we're gonna get one new and old, you know, so we understand clearly who is in charge of the last enemy. Give me some 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6 through 10.
All right, 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 1.
6 through 10. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Verse 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive.
What the Lord do?
Killeth and maketh alive.
Right?
He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up.
Oh,
The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, for by strength shall no man prevail. The adversaries of the Lord shall be broken to pieces. Out of heaven shall he thunder upon them. The Lord shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give strength unto his king, and exalt the horn of his anointed.
so we see right here, this is the power who has power over death, because it's telling you, even in the end part, he's going to reign and he's going to put down everybody with death and then put death down itself. So go ahead, back that up, bro, with Revelation chapter 1, verse 17 and 18, unless you need to back it up a bit. But this is just showing you who's in control of our last enemy. Y'all have to understand this. Even if we were to get out of this captivity, we still have to get out of the final captivity, and that's free of the death angel. Free of it. Because as long as he around, what's going to be in the earth? Misery. Chaos. Confusion. Slow singing and flower bringing. Go ahead, bro. Where we at?
Revelation chapter 1, verse 17. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead.
Right.
And he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, Fear not, I am the first and the last.
See, what is he?
The first and the last.
That's right.
I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore, a man, and have the keys of hell and of death.
What keys does he have?
Of hell and of death.
And see, hell is being the grave. He has the keys to the grave and of death.
God wouldn't kill no baby.
You got the keys to that.
I heard that before.
Yeah, that's why we
God
started
wouldn't kill
off
no baby.
in
Why
Psalm
did he-
51. Who most that say that will read Psalm 51 and listen to David say how he was formed. But it's just personally attacking them. You know why? Because this enemy got you now doubting the Creator. Why would he do that to babies? Are you concerned about Adam's babies? You going back that far? Or you just talking about your nephew?
Well, see, those are just personal emotions getting in the way, fleshly emotions,
Yes, sir. Shalom, me mom.
getting the best of them.
Yeah. So y'all, we got to get our mind right and understand who has the keys to this. Go ahead, bro. Because before he told you he had the keys, he said who was dead and made alive again. So y'all, that's who you want to be around that has those keys, not the warden. Not the warden, not them keys he jangling. Go ahead, bro, finish that up.
Verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Write the things which thou hast seen, and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter. The mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand,
Right.
and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches.
So I just want to get that understanding out there who we are talking about so that we fear not. That's why he said don't fear him who can destroy the body. So back that right on up with that with Matthew 10:28, so we get a full understanding before we move forward and understand who's in charge of death, because we got some people out here scared of the devil. The devil is scared of the death angel. Huh? He don't want to be where he at. If he was, he would go ahead and end this process, wouldn't he? He'd leave us alone and say, Lord, I'm through with him. I ain't gonna mess with him no more. Go and give me my green mile walk.
Right.
But no, he don't want out yet. So he's scared of the death angel. Understand what he says he has the keys of. That's why when Satan took him up to the high mountain in Matthew 4:4, he hit him with commandments. Now, partner, you know what the deal is between me and you.
Jose, take the keys back and go to the door.
You got to leave. Just give it to me before you leave.
I don't know why you gave me this.
All right. Where we at, y'all?
Matthew chapter 10, verse 28.
What it say? Do you need to back it up, Benny? Let me get that.
No, not really.
Not really? Okay.
Y'all want me to back it up? Anybody want me to back it
Take
up?
a look. Yeah, that's where I want to be. Okay.
All right, Matthew chapter 10, verse 28.
Okay, start about 26. That'll be good.
26.
Okay.
Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed,
Okay.
and hid that shall not be known.
So y'all, let's get this understood. Everything gonna be revealed. So this takes it off the table. Somebody telling you they got some secret wisdom. See, somebody had to reveal it to them. It's older than they are. So things are getting revealed. There ain't gonna be nothing hid. The problem is they don't want you to know the source that they got it from.
Right.
If they hiding it from you. That's why they playing hide and seek with you. Most High don't play hide and seek. He said, you ask me and I will tell you the question that you are asking. We see that all through Ezra, where Ezra kept asking, Lord, just one more time, please. Just one more question, please. He said, go ahead, Ezra. Ask away. So when you get anybody talking about it's secret knowledge, that means they're going to hold something back from you.
Right.
Like Thursday, you may not know they finna bend you over a barrel and cleanse you. Where we at?
Verse 27.
Not the cleansing.
No, yeah.
Verse 27. What I tell you in darkness,
Right.
that speak ye in light.
What he say? What I tell you what?
In darkness, that speak ye in light.
Y'all see the opposite of what the Messiah requests? He said, whatever I tell you in the dark, you can tell somebody in the daylight. 12 noon, when the sun is in its strength, you can repeat what I said to you in the dark. But that ain't with other gods, because they whisper in the dark and say you can't tell nobody from the light. They won't understand. And that's the same thing the pastor say when he say don't go into Revelations.
Right.
They won't understand.
It scares the people.
It's scared. Come on, read some more, bro.
And what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetop.
That's right.
And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
See where you're going to destroy both soul and body? In hell. So what we're talking about, that's twofold. It's saying they're going in the grave, so you're going back to dirt. But the problem is we got Ecclesiasticus 12. They say, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. You coming back up out of there to die again? We're going to get some understanding today, y'all. So we good right there, Ed, or you got a little bit more of that?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Let's get right to it, y'all. 1 Corinthians 15, y'all. We're going to start about verse 12, and I'm going to set this up. We're going to get some understanding of how death found itself in the universe. There's a side of death that we have to accept. We have to accept death to come after season. So after summer comes fall to get us prepared for the death of all living things so that it can die and regenerate itself so that we can live comfortable again. So at times we have to understand there's a part of death that we have to accept. I'm not saying that you know it ought to be a pleasant thing and you talk about it smiling all the time. I'm saying to a point that ain't nothing you can do about it. It's designed to fix the problem. And when the problem is fixed, you don't need it no more. Do you? Who fixing something that ain't broke? You just call somebody and tell them to work on your air conditioning and it's flowing good. You got on mittens and a coat.
Now it's gonna be broke.
Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get right to it. 1 Corinthians 15 and 12.
Reading in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, start our reading in verse 12. Let's get some understanding, family. Now, if Hamashiach be preached that he rose from the dead, how say some among you that there is no resurrection of the dead?
See, this is where we just started at, who had the keys of life and death. He started off and said, I was dead, then I'm resurrected. I got the keys, y'all. These writings are true, either or we wasting our time with this. Go ahead, read a little more.
Verse 13. But if there be no resurrection of the dead, then is Hamashiach not risen? And if Hamashiach be not risen, then is our preaching vain, and your faith is also vain?
See, this the bottom line. This the choice you got to make right now. You can't substitute him for nobody else. If he didn't rise from the dead, everything we talking about today is a moot point.
That's right.
So the bottom line is when you get naysayers saying, well, ain't no grave site, you can't prove he was buried in a grave. Look, he ain't in a grave. His bones ain't in a grave.
That's the problem.
Your problem is you need to go with them people who said they found the Shroud of Turin and ask them what grave did they get that out of. Hell, you at least acknowledge they came out of a grave, don't they?
Or try to.
No. Like Acts 2:30, it said David's sepulcher is with us to this day. Y'all can, David's grave is here on earth.
They go
Where he's buried, they know where it's at.
They visit it yearly.
If it was not so, they'd been busted our chops on these scriptures. See, every Pharaoh, we know where his tomb from. What we care about that? They practice the book of the dead.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to find the graves of the dead. We're talking about the resurrected one. If you find his grave, our thing is in vain anyway.
That's right. But he said, let the dead bury the dead. He ain't concerned about the dead.
Boy, come on.
He's concerned with the living.
That's right.
For he's a living God.
That's right.
And we represent a living book.
Not the book of the dead.
No.
Read some more, brother.
Verse 14. And if Hamashiach be not risen, then is our preaching vain, and your faith is also vain. Yeah, and we are found false witnesses of Yahweh.
What have we found?
False
Y'all
witnesses.
see how it's laid on the table, so it ain't like we didn't. No, I didn't know y'all was gonna find them dead still in the grave. Look, we'd be found false witness, wouldn't we? Y'all, we ready to stand on it. You know why? Because everybody else that's talking about it saying it ain't the book quote its scriptures for truth. You ever heard that? Don't it say the truth shall make you free?
Every last.
Why you quoting me something that you want to prove a book that you say shouldn't even be existing? Why are you not reading that from out of the book of the dead of the Egyptians?
What's the book of the dead?
Right. Boy, that's the problem right there. Let's get some more.
Because we have testified of Yah,
Right.
that he raised up Hamashiach, whom he raised not up, if so be that the dead rise not. For if the dead rise not, then is not Hamashiach raised?
And then the last enemy is still on earth, y'all. And we're going to deal with this to how long? Then we're going to fall into the Jehovah Witness doctrine just, you got to do as best you can while you on earth, because when you dead, ain't no punishments after that. It's just over. The problem is, why is you then knocking on my door and all it's going to be is 144? You defeating your own witness, ain't you?
Right. If it's gonna be over, then ain't this the best life you got?
Right. And
You should be living your best life.
you
now
should be
then,
living
right?
your best life. We should be living it up.
Yeah, you can depend on this flesh if you want to.
Yeah.
Oh man, forget it, I'm gone.
Should be do as thou will if that's the case.
Right.
But it ain't. You know why it ain't? Because they know it ain't. Let's read some more.
Verse 17. And if Hamashiach be not raised, your faith is vain. Ye are yet in your sin.
We in our sins, y'all. If he ain't raised up, y'all, we still in our sins. If they can find the grave marker, dig it up, find it, put it all together, then we in our sins, y'all. Y'all, don't y'all understand how important the resurrection is? It releases us from our sins to give him the power to have the keys of life and death. All this based on him getting up out the grave, where they say more than 500 saw him in and witnessed continually. Paul saw him years later on the road to Damascus. Spoke with him. But he was way before that, because he's the root of David and the offspring. Abraham broke bread with him. And it had to be clear that he was making that statement, because the Pharisees said, how you know Abraham and you ain't even 50 yet? So their mindset is on the thing that he was back there talking to Abraham, his friend.
He presented Eve to Adam.
Boy, come on. Let's read some more.
Verse 18. Then they also which are fallen asleep in Hamashiach are perished.
See, and that's the last thing too. Ain't no heaven for whoever else dead if the resurrection didn't happen. Do y'all understand why it's so important that he was an unblemished lamb? You have to understand how important it is with this right here, that he's an unblemished lamb. Read that verse again so we get some clear understanding.
Verse 18. then they also which are fallen asleep in Hamashiach are perished.
See, they're perished because if he didn't rise, they can't rise.
Right.
And he rose because of uncorruptible flesh. If you put him in a corruptible flesh,
Can't ride.
you're still in your sins, and that's why they chase Negroes who claim they are this power.
Right.
I'm the Holy Spirit.
Like going back to what David said,
Right.
Psalm 51, I was
Yeah.
shaping in iniquity.
I was shaping in iniquity.
Corruptible flesh.
See, corruptible flesh, David said, but Messiah wasn't created in that flesh.
He wasn't like any other man. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1.
Let's read some more. We're going to get a little bit better understanding, y'all, and then we're going to get to the meat of this subject. Go ahead.
Verse 19.
What it say?
If in this life only we have hope in Hamashiach, we are of all men most miserable. But now is Hamashiach risen from the dead, and become the first fruits of them that slept. For since by man came death,
Since by what?
since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead.
You can only have a fix for the problem. How you going to put the fix in the hand of a Negro that's dying like you got decaying flesh?
My old ways make me subject to sin.
You don't think his flesh stink? I don't care if he called himself the Holy Comforter, he called himself Chief Rabbi. This, you as a grown man will not bite on his arm like you do a newborn baby. It's going to be salty. It's going to be releasing the toxin from that decaying flesh. And you know he ain't who he's saying. But the Holy Spirit coming out of the bathroom spraying Lysol and cherry scenting.
Everybody should want to smell that.
And they putting up homicide tape at the door. I mean, you would say some dead in you. Boy, y'all, man worship is a hell of a drug.
It's a hell of a drug, boy. Oh, man.
Then you'll have Negroes saying right here, well, worship how we know. Right here we see in this king that they bow to the Lord and the king. Negro, there's an order for everything. When you see the angel in Revelation say, don't bow to me, but then we see in this Revelation 1, where Messiah didn't say get up. They were supposed to bow in that Revelation 1 because it's Messiah talking.
That's right.
But when we get to other Revelation where John, the angel, told him, get up, don't bow to me. So in like manner, there's a level of worship if you not playing with the law, but you're playing word etymology and trick games about worship. Let's start with the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt do what? Have no other God before me. No graven images, nor take his name in vain. That takes anybody else. So if you say you can bow to a man, then that script right there is contradicting itself. You need to put the Bible down, or there's an order when you salute a house or show what we would call honor to man. It said honor all men, didn't it? But there's a line you can't cross with that. You can't honor a man like you would the Most High. How are you going to honor the clay? That's disrespecting the potter, ain't it? So you have to say to yourself, either this is contradictory, or is that word? Contradictory, okay. Or I don't understand what it means to bow and worship, because we can go through all of this. Solomon bowed to Bathsheba.
Honor and worship is
Two different things. If it say and the king, is just giving the king worship because it's the king who presents the message to the people. Just honor him enough that the Lord will choose him to deliver the message. That's as far as the honor goes. Reason Moses and Aaron had to go up to the mountain so their body couldn't be found, or they'd have been worshiping the body of Moses. And we saw what happened to him when the Most High said, how dare you say we? So you Negroes talking about you can bow to a man, get out of here with that. And Moses and Aaron is put to death because of that very thing. There's a line you can't cross. And you will never see it to a point that where they worship the man. No, these Negroes will make up anything to keep that man worship going. Let's read some more.
Verse 22. For as in Adam all die.
For as in who?
Adam
See,
all die.
all die from Adam, not from Hamashiach. Go ahead.
Even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive.
Yes, sir.
But every man in his own order.
Every man in his own what?
Order.
See, y'all, and that's talking about the death order. Christ gonna make you alive in that order, no matter how you like it. You may be resurrected from the grave to go straight to the lake of fire. That's gonna be trouble. But in that order is how it's going. And we're gonna read that order next. Go ahead, brother.
But every man in his own order.
Right?
Hamashiach, the first fruits. Afterward, they that are Hamashiachs at his coming.
At his what?
At his coming.
See, y'all, not before his coming, at his coming. For what is the day of the Lord to you? We're going to hit that very soon so we can understand it, that it's going to run. Boy, come on. The measuring stick goes down at his coming. If you left alive.
Right.
If you dead already, we got a hope in the resurrection. Because the resurrection of the dead will precede them that are left alive and remaining from going into the kingdom. If you make the first resurrection, the second death has no power over you. It's impossible. The death angel could be right there. You'd be like, man, go somewhere. If you make the first resurrection. Let's read some more.
Verse 24.
What it say?
Then cometh the end.
Then cometh what?
The end.
See, the end is coming right at second coming, y'all. So how long is 1,000-year millennium gonna last? 1,000 years if we in this flesh and blood, but one day, if we all been translated, or what the script say, in a twinkling of an eye. Because to be in that kingdom, you still can't enter that kingdom with flesh and blood.
No.
This blood is tainted.
Get out your flesh.
It's blemished, this blood. Let's read some more.
They think they gonna run up in there.
Boy.
24 from the top.
Uh-huh.
Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom of Yah,
To
the kingdom to Yah, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. For he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet.
See, he have to reign to all enemies. What enemy we starting off talking about? See, he has to reign to death is put down. Because he's the only ruler can deal with death. Can Trump deal with death?
Oh, no.
Can Putin deal with death?
No.
What about Kim Jong mentally ill? Can he deal with death?
Dealing with it.
I was just about to say, you might be
He
dealing
gone,
with
so
it.
he dealing with it firsthand.
But they saying, no, he's alive and well.
Oh, okay. I ain't heard that.
Nobody got no proof, but the bottom line is they're saying he can't deal with it. It's up in the air, y'all. If he could, they say here he is right here.
No man has been able to deal with
No.
it since it's been on this earth.
Let's read some more.
Verse 26.
Uh-huh.
The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death.
You can hold that. I just wanted to get that understanding real quick, y'all, on what we're looking at. But I want you to jump down to
They think they're gonna rush in the
jump down to 39. What you saying, Jose?
Elijah was saying they think they're gonna run up in there and say they're gonna try to run in the side door like they do in the little club.
Boy, come on.
Always.
This ain't the concert.
They gonna
Right.
freeze
You know, this ain't the concert. You let your partners in.
I think they got the hook up.
Ain't nothing new. Just
Right.
like David ain't gonna remember.
No, it ain't gonna be-
Pull that old slick.
No,
All right, we gonna button our lips when it gets close.
no, ain't gonna be none of that. Moses! Holla! No.
I mean, you can see it now. Amongst Negroes, you know. You see it with plain eyes.
I'm gonna run it at 38.
Okay, go ahead, bro. That's good. That's me.
Verse 38. But Yah giveth it a body as it had pleased him.
Right? What he give it?
A body as it pleased him. And to every seed his own body.
So we're talking about the Messiah now saying, I give a body as it pleased me, not you Negroes. See, that's why the body of Messiah, they keep having a problem with it. They keep trying to run you Hebrews 2:15 instead of Hebrews 7:16. One is made after an everlasting law. One is made after men who rot and die like we do. 72 hours rigor mortis set in.
That's right.
No rigor mortis set in on the Messiah. His limbs were loose. 72 hours, you like this.
Body still warm. His body was still warm.
That's how they know how long it's been since death. When it's like this, and then look, when rigor mortis are finally let loose, but inside of 72 hours, stuck.
Yep.
So they know this is the range. So look, Messiah was tested with the 72-hour test. Let's get it smoked. Where we at?
Verse 39. All flesh is not the same flesh.
So let's get an understanding, just like all death is not the same death. All flesh is not the same flesh. Go ahead.
But there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds.
Y'all think about the flesh of birds. A bird can go outside with the same feathers he had on in the summertime. Now you go out in the wintertime with them summer clothes on and see what happens. It's some different flesh, ain't it? Same feathers, or is it a winter feather store for the birds? They live outside. Let's read some more.
They gonna get my winter fat.
That's what I'm having. Got their winter feathers on. Verse 40. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differeth from another star in glory.
So stars are under order. One of them get out of order, guess what you see then? What is it called? A falling star. There's order for stars, just like for the sun and the moon. Rise in the east and sets in the west. And you know, because this is a living book, you pick up things all the time. And you know, I heard this from Levi Raphael. He said, notice why it always say it rises in the east and sets in the west, but there's nothing about the sun going north and south, because there's a pole on each end of them.
That's right. And that's what I've been trying to say to, I know it's not just me alone, but when brothers talk about this flat earth theory, then if that was the case, the sun would have to be visible in the north and the south
Yeah, it would
to
be.
get back to the east. It has to be.
Wouldn't be no time zone. Wouldn't it shine at one
It
spot?
wouldn't be no
At one
time zone.
right?
Wouldn't be no need for time zone, because that light would shine upon the whole face of the earth if it was flat.
It'd be 12
at the
noon.
same time.
It'd be 12 noon at the same time.
Right.
So what's the need for rising and setting?
See, that's the sun's glory, and then the moon has its glory, what it does.
That's right.
The rainbow is 360 degrees. So if you only see 180, where's the other?
Where they?
Then you telling me it's doing an L. No, it circles the circumference of the earth. So if it's a sphere, it goes around the whole, and it's seen from every perspective, from everyone, from different zones.
Yes, sir.
It just don't make sense. Certain things just don't add up.
They don't add up.
I can't wait to sit in on that class.
What class?
Enoch and
Oh, yeah.
Where we at, brother?
Yes, sir.
Verse 42.
We're going to get in some of that, a little bit of that today. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 42.
Uh-huh.
So also is the resurrection of the dead.
See, y'all, we keep talking about the resurrection, y'all, of the dead. Go ahead.
It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption.
See, because look, it says it's sown in corruption. let's get it understood. When it started getting nurtured, it was in corruption. That's what David talked about in Psalm 51. I was shapen in iniquity. It don't mean he was born in iniquity, because you cannot be born in sin.
So when they say they go astray right from the womb, it don't mean that people are born evil.
No, you cannot be born
Just
evil.
learn that up for the next.
Right,
People
because
choose, or they're
That's
taught
right.
it,
That's
and then they, for their free will, they choose to go that route.
right.
That's right.
See, so and they run wicked. All it means is that they were designed. They've been trained. Like racism is not inherited. It's taught.
Right. Taught.
So you can have a young 5-year-old taught every time he see a black child to say nigger. So he's basically running from the womb, because they start learning at 6 months. Y'all have to realize this, children learn at 6 months. They know what's going on.
Yes.
They look and keep watching you putting that up on the dresser. Say, oh, that's where you putting that pacifier in. Okay. Soon as you leave the room, I'm gonna get that. And when you come back in there, be like this, you be like it's a ghost in there, something in there. How you get that? How you get that pacifier? And the baby looking at me like, you know I can't talk. Where we at, bro?
Verse 43. It is sown in dishonor.
It is sown what?
In dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power. It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body.
Yes, sir.
There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body.
Y'all understanding what he's breaking down, y'all, is two when we're dealing with this subject matter. One is talking about Adam and one is talking about Messiah. You can't put Messiah in Adam's line to be shapen in iniquity. If you do, the resurrection means nothing for you. Let's read some more.
Verse 45.
What it say?
And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul.
What was the first man Adam made?
A living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
See, so there would be a problem for Hebrews 2:15 too. How do you make him a quickening spirit? The only way that can happen for any Negro in this earthly body is 2 or 20 minutes. That's all you got.
You bust it out.
Second Ezra, what's that? Oh yeah, we're gonna get that. Let me put that on there too. Go right to it. A quickening spirit, y'all, is able to go to another realm, y'all, overnight. He like, I gotta go visit my father. I gotta do this. That's a quickening spirit, can bring life back automatic. That's a quickening spirit to give life back. The first man, Adam, couldn't do that. He could have pumped on your chest and gave you CPR, but guess what? When the death angel come, let's read about the war we have with this last. Y'all, cause we in a war. We're in a war with our family members who don't want to believe it's true. Then you're in a war with society, the whole world. You're in a war with Satan. Now you're in a war with the death angel.
You got a war within yourself.
And a war with yourself.
The enemy is the biggest enemy.
So y'all let us get understood and get ourselves trained for the last enemy. Because if we defeat the devil, we still got one to go. You can't pull your weapons of spiritual war, Ephesians 6 and 9, you can't take that off when Satan get locked up. You still got one enemy left. How you gonna put your guards down? Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 46. Howbeit, that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterward that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the most high from heaven. As is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy. And as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly.
So what's the problem when the Most High keeps saying, Messiah keeps saying, this ain't my home. I don't come from around here. Nicodemus said, he said, you ain't from around here. He didn't mean that there was some island somewhere that somebody could be just supernatural on. He said, you're not from around here. I know these chief priests.
You're not of this world.
Right.
The only miracle these niggas doing is tricking you out of your money. I know what they doing. But you ain't from here. You cannot be from here with what you're doing. I watch what you do. That man was dead. And you brought him back to life. But understand the difference. When he gave disciples power, they did it within a rigor mortis period. They could not be the resurrectors of the dead. Understand that? I'm talking about after 72 hours. You can be dead for 20 minutes, can't you? And they bring you back to life, can't they? I'm talking about after the rigor mortis period. Who came back after rigor mortis?
Nobody.
Who has control of that power?
Christ only.
All right.
The way, the truth, and the light.
You got some more of that, brother?
That's 48.
48? Yeah, go ahead, read that 49. Yeah, and then we'll close out at the 50.
Okay, I'll start at 48.
Okay.
As is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy. And as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly.
We're gonna go down, we're just gonna read it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, read it on now.
Go ahead, bro.
And as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yah.
Let's get it straight, y'all. Flesh and blood can't enter the kingdom of heaven, y'all. So let us understand. I don't care what Negro set up a kingdom on earth. Flesh and blood cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Benjamin Carter's camp couldn't enter the kingdom of heaven. It's flesh and blood. It's a different body that has to be in part of the kingdom of heaven. It's a transformation. It's different cells and blood running through your body. You don't have to wear a spacesuit in the kingdom. Your body will be transformed to move through the levels of heaven like angels do.
You don't need no corona mask?
No corona mask ain't gonna get you through boy, up on Mount Kilimanjaro. So y'all, who got questions? Go ahead.
The last enemy.
The last enemy, death. Let's read some more.
Verse 50 from the top. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yah.
Right.
Neither doth corruption inherit incorruption.
So corruption does not inherit incorruption. If you say the Messiah was born in sin and him and Mary had a romp in the hay before they were publicly married, how can incorruption take on immortality at that point then? How is that possible?
That's a corrupted act. That's against the law.
It's against the law of incorruption. If that's the case, Adam would have found his way out to one day of the Lord. He'd have lasted to 1,000 years. But he didn't, did he? Methuselah didn't make it. 969. But guess what got a hold of him? Guess who the last enemy he couldn't handle?
Verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment.
How long?
In a moment.
See, that's the spirit that quickeneth you asking about. That's how quick he can transform you from this sinless body to Adam before he transgressed.
So we all.
In a blink of an eye.
That ain't even a second.
I want you to think about this. You looking at somebody that's rotten to the core, and you blink your eye and wake up and they in that white with a palm in their hand. You're gonna be like, wait a minute, what just happened? What just happened? Same thing. The Nebuchadnezzar said, look, we saw 3 men, and wait a minute, it's 4 down there, and they walking around like that.
River dancing in the
boy, come on. Let's read some more.
in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump.
At the what trump?
At the last trump.
Once again, y'all, we see that this ain't gonna happen till all 7 trumps are gone, so your rapture doctrine is out the window. This don't happen till at the last trump. Do you know how many trumps is going down? That's why they so confused right now and ready to give up their stimulus check. They want out. I'm supposed to be in the rapture. Do I have to give up my stimulus check to catch up?
Can't buy this. Right. You can't buy
Your
this.
money purse with you.
Why am I still here, Pastor? We got 30 preachers out of the Koji, what do they call it? COJIC. So for 30 or plus of them, our sleepy semi that's dead already is wearing them out. But it's death, y'all. Koji could get us if we ain't up on our personal health, because that's what it's seeking to devour. Defective immune systems.
Don't play it cheap.
Don't play it cheap, y'all.
Don't tempt the Most High.
No.
You know,
Don't forget
faith is
about
one
that
thing,
enemy.
but don't have blind faith.
Right.
Because the heathen is very crafty. Satan has a mission, and his mission is to destroy the chosen seed, the royal seed.
So don't run
The
out.
ones that don't believe, he already got it. He ain't worried about them. He wants the ones that believe
That's right.
with their heart and soul. That's the treasure.
That's right.
That's the prize. What he already got ain't no prize. That's just collateral damage. He needs the prize.
That's why you gotta trust in him that could quicken it. Don't y'all know that when you are being quickened, y'all, you can go into supernatural body and come back to yourself in a twinkling of an eye, but you have to be put in that position to save you they were turned into supernatural individuals in that fire. When the smell of smoke ain't on you, if you think these are things are happening in this flesh and blood, no, that's how quick it was with a twinkling of an eye. That's why he said, I see 4 men in there. But this ain't gonna be done without the Messiah, without the belief in him. And they before him, but they believed it just like Job. I know in this body, I'm gonna see the Messiah.
They willingly went into the furnace. They wasn't tripping off.
Wasn't tripping off of nothing.
Christ showed up in there with them. What's happening, y'all? Shalom. What
They
y'all doing?
understood the last
Y'all ready
enemy.
to get up out of here?
Let's read some more. Where we at?
52 from the top.
Uh-huh.
In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
See, so the dead gotta always raise him before those left alive at the last trump.
Not the last Donald Trump.
Boy, no. Look, so y'all look, so like I'm saying, 6 trumpets have already gone off and you ain't been changed. That's a problem for the Pentecostal church.
Right.
That's a problem for pre-tribulation. It's a problem. 6 done went off and you still here. Unless you dead already from one of those trumpets.
It's getting that bad.
Let's read some more.
Verse 53. For this corruptible must put on incorruption.
If it feel like.
Must put on incorruption. And this mortal must put on immortality.
So we're seeing here that flesh and blood cannot enter, y'all. This blood is tainted. Blood is the what? Blood is the life.
That's right.
Y'all, we're talking about blood without the stain of Adam that David talked about in Psalm 51. Shaping in iniquity is not born in sin. That's 2 different things. If I'm born in sin, that means that something happened with me as a fetus or before I even became that. When my father let loose of me in my mother, then something I done traveling up there if I was born in sin. Now, if I was shaping in iniquity, yeah, both sides. I got 23 chromosomes from both. Both of them got something wrong with them. Mama may have high diabetes. Daddy may have been a dope head. But you can't get that from Messiah. And if you do get it from him, ain't no resurrection. One or the other. You ain't gonna have it both ways. And Joseph born the same way. Let's read some more.
Verse 54.
What it say?
So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written.
What it's going to be saying?
Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?
So y'all see where we getting to, y'all. This can't take place, or this can't be said until this last enemy is defeated. How you gonna enjoy some man-made kingdom and you know you finna die? The cover's on the floor again, you done kicked them off the bed having nightmares in somebody's man-made kingdom.
Then you're gonna build a kingdom in your captivity?
In your captivity.
That's like creating a communal kingdom in prison.
In prison, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Oh, we gon' while the warden's watching, we gonna build us a community right here.
Boy, just like Bloods and Crips, talking about this my block.
Yeah.
This block belongs to the United States.
Until one cop car pull up and say,
yeah.
all you niggas get off this block, this is our block.
Right.
And you rent. You paying rent every month, but it's your block.
Somebody get
Come
the
up
door.
short on that rent.
Need somebody get the door, y'all. Go ahead.
Verse 56. The sting of death is sin.
What is the sting of death?
Is sin. And the strength of sin is the law.
See, the strength of, that's what you gotta have. This is why word etymology don't play here. Your strength is in the law. A Negro can tell you a word mean this and make you break the law. You have no strength at that point. Your strength is the law. It's what God commanded. He said it's holy, didn't it?
That's right.
He said it's the truth. What else it say, bro?
Verse 57. But thanks be to Yah, which giveth us the victory through our Master, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast.
Right.
Unmovable.
Say that word again.
Steadfast. Unmovable.
Unmovable, y'all. We can't just go with any wind of doctrine just cause it show up.
Sounds good.
Let's read some more.
Always abounding in the work of the Most High, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain.
So we just want to get an understanding of that. So I just want to hit really quickly what death's job is, and then we're going to get into the wisdom to let you know the Most High didn't create it. He didn't create nothing to be destroyed. Do we have children to put them to death?
No.
You like, I mean, you're looking at them. I mean, if somebody killed a child, you know how we react. How you gonna have a baby and be looking at them? Yeah, when you get 5, I'm killing your ass. I mean, who do you have children for that?
Well, that's when they start eating a little more too.
Oh, right. You may want them going out the house.
This is a little crumb snatcher.
But you don't want them dead because they're your children for life.
That's right.
And the same way with the Father, all his creation. It said it grieved his heart that he had to put Satan down. That grieved him. He didn't create Satan to be his adversary. That produced his outcome. He reaped what he sowed. What he did produced the sting of death. But he's in immortality. So there's a different side of death that he can only experience. You can't kill Satan with a pistol. You think you can knock Satan's jaw out the socket? He's supernatural. He come in your sleep. He like to fight while you sleep. With your consciousness. And how you scared looking around when you wake up. Tells you that flesh and blood can't enter the kingdom. You looking around scared that, man, what's wrong? Man, that dream, well, how do I help you at that point? You want to take my 9? Zeb, you got a 9 you could spare that he could take to sleep with it?
So you get mad.
Ariel got an extra.
See what I'm saying?
You're right.
Here we go again.
He said you got to get your own, my brother.
Yeah.
You better get your own. Let's get it, y'all. Where we at? My brother.
Where we going, brother? We done with that one.
Let's get right into it, y'all. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, y'all. We're going in the Apocrypha, y'all. And this is to let you know that the Most High did not create death. He did not create an enemy for his children. No more than you would have a child and create an enemy for your child. I'm going to have a baby, then I'm going to have somebody come and knock his head off all the time. Put roadblocks on it. That's what I'm going to do for my children. So y'all have to be careful when you find groups that teach that he created a certain group of people for evil. That's dangerous. That ain't never happened in world history because he told Cain, well, your brother, you had some rules. Look, when they got off the ark, did you think Ham and Japheth got out without knowing the laws of God and they were saved through the flood? Ham and Japheth knew the law of the Most High, as well as Shem did. Nimrod was a mighty hunter before who? Yeah. Till he decided, I need to go up there and see what's going on. I'm sick of down here. But flesh and blood can't go up there. That's why the Messiah keeps saying, John 3:13, I'm not from around here. I can go there at will. Stephen didn't say he going up there. He said, I looked up there and I saw where the Messiah dwelled. Didn't he? He didn't say I've been up there. Paul said I went to the third level, but I didn't go up there where Messiah. I went to Abraham's bosom to see where the righteous lay until the resurrection at the seventh trump. That's where he went to. But to go up there and see Satan wasn't even up there. That's what made him transgress. He said, I need to go up there. You already up there. Ezekiel 22 said he was on the stones of fire. He was up in the north parts. And he said, but what's up there? I need to come to the penthouse. You can't come up here. And then he conned a third. And we act like you tough enough for this enemy. Don't you know he had to be locked up? The only way you can combat him is what we just read, the law. It's the only way. That's the only bullets you have. It's his kryptonite. It say if you resist the devil, he will flee from you. And we see resist scripture. Throw yourself off the cliff. That ain't what the scriptures say. I'm not tempt God. Command these stones made bread. You ain't ate in 40 days. Man should live not live by bread alone. He runs out of ammo. Then he leave. Will he be back? Yes, because he's dealing with shapen in iniquity flesh. It may be prone for the devil. Let's read some more. Where we at? Let's get it.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. We start about verse 13.
We start at 12, brother.
We start at 12. Y'all, what we're trying to do is get some understanding on this last enemy because he's around. If you let somebody trick you to go to some compound living or some, guess who's still around? The death angel. They got graveyards in Dimona. They got graveyards. They had 900 of them in Guyana town, didn't they, Jim Jones?
One day.
They had a bunch of graves in Waco, Texas, in that kingdom. Because guess who's still hanging around? Death.
Yeah.
How you gonna have peace and it's still around? You get away from the world, but guess what?
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning and do your baby like this, and you can bite on their skin all day, and you bite on yours. You be like, wait a minute.
That hurt.
Tastes a little salty.
Salty is.
Nasty.
Wait a minute. Corrupt.
Your body grows old, it begins to die as it when you're born. It regenerates its cells all the time. So you have dead skin cells and things of that nature.
That's how your DNA get found in place.
Think about y'all enemy, y'all. You would not have a birthday unless it was a death day. Your father Adam died is the only reason you have a birthday. If it weren't for that, you wouldn't have a birthday.
No need for time.
That's why you can't number the Most High. He's called the Ancient of what?
Days.
Where we gonna put the number at then? Where we gonna put the number at? How far back is that? It says he's ancient to day one.
He said, who was his counsel?
Who was his counsel? Boy, let's get some of that, Elijah.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 12.
What it say?
Seek not death in the era of your life.
Do what?
Seek not death in the era of your life.
That means don't be making no oaths about death, nothing you know you can't keep. No blood covenants with death. How you gonna play with death and this enemy gonna be around even when you resurrected? There he is, unless you make the first resurrection. There he is. He's still there at the second resurrection if you don't make the first resurrection. Guess who's still there?
Yeah.
And you think this a covenant like you make with your boy. Let's read some more.
Seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands. For Yahweh made not death.
Read that again.
For Yahweh made not death.
Is that clear? He didn't make it. It was a result of transgression that it came into existence. He made the individual that transgressed his laws, and that was created. Let's read some more.
For Yahweh made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living.
He don't have pleasure in what?
The destruction of the living.
So death got to go, y'all. If it's around among the living and you saying this is our kingdom, we're living in here, guess who your company is? Death. How you got a kingdom with guards at the front gate with M16s?
What you fearing?
What you fearing? Let's read some more.
For he created all things that they might have their being, and the generations of the world were healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal.
What is immortal?
Righteousness is immortal.
Y'all, it's the only way we can get it. And if it's your righteousness, is the righteousness of the Pharisees, guess what? What do you say about that? See, so it's a level of righteousness can't come close either. Because that righteousness is full of death. It practices death. It teaches death. Striving and debating is death, ain't it?
Yes, sir. Rebellion is death. Disobedience is death.
Read some more, bro.
Verse 16. But ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it.
Yeah, see, so once you get on death's side, then death is coming. You talking about birds flock, birds of a feather flock together?
Yep.
How do you ride in a car with somebody you met from a friend of a friend?
No. I don't know.
You don't know his name, his last name. You don't know his uncle. All you know, you just let man in the car with you. Because he a friend of your cousin's cousin. Let's read some more. Where we at? We done with that one?
Yeah.
Going right to, the next one. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 23 and 24. Then we're going to hit that 3 all. It's going to get right into it. Then I want to definitely get into this Sirach, y'all, because it's going to teach us. It's going to train us how to deal with the last enemy.
Can I hear something real
Go
quick?
ahead, bro. Yes,
before we
sir.
go,
Yes, sir.
That same Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, verse 24. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, verse, I'm here 23 and 24.
Okay.
Ma'am?
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Mom.
We love you.
Love you.
Go ahead. Get that light set up. Okay.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, verse 23. But thou hast mercy upon all, for thou canst do all things, and winkest at the sins of men, because they should amend. For thou lovest all things that are, and abhorrest nothing which thou hast made. For never wouldest thou have made anything if thou hadst hated it. So the Most High doesn't create to destroy.
Right.
He didn't create anything that he hated. Everything, and when we read in Genesis, he says, when he created everything, it was good. For it was created for a specific purpose. Whether it was clean or unclean, it was considered good because it was created for a purpose.
That's right.
Mankind was created for a purpose. Transgression, when we read, brothers want to, he created good and evil. He didn't create evil, he created that which brought evil.
So Peter that said, creatures of the state want to become destroyed.
I'm sorry, outside
Peter
here.
said, creatures of the state want to become destroyed. It's 2 Peter 2.
2 Peter.
Creatures of the state want to only become destroyed.
With those that have made a covenant with death and disobedience, that has become their thing. Just like Esau, though he was the twin brother of Jacob, he chose not to go study under the tutelage of Shem.
That's right.
He chose to go hunt.
Right.
Okay? Just like, Cain and Abel. They had the dietary laws, the laws of sacrifice.
Right.
Cain chose to bring that which was less of the great. He brought not the first fruits. He brought what was left over.
Right.
The residue. Whereas Abel brought the first fruits of his cattle and his kind. So they made choices.
Yeah.
Free will choices.
Always been free will.
To disobey.
Y'all,
Most High didn't bring disobedience into the world.
No, I guess not. Y'all, and that's what we're talking about. Do you plan on having children that you'll have to kill? That's not in your psyche. You want your children to be there when you put your feet up and pull them in the bed and say, y'all, I'm on my way out of here. Here's the inheritance. If you expect children to be like that, them the children you're going to get. They're trying to hurry your death up so they can get that insurance policy. You'll hear them, some heathen, you hear they'll say, boy, I don't know why she's so ornery and won't die. They want some inheritance.
Yes.
But no, long patience, because with that inheritance, it still comes the pain of, I will never see this individual again under this sun, ever again. That's the pain that last enemy bring. That's the last chapter of his book. Go ahead, what you got to say? Boy, come on, see, yeah.
Excellent. And we can read that all through Sirach and the Wisdom of Solomon.
Yes, sir. We get
bastardized children.
We getting that in 41.
And men that are unlawful and using the scripts to benefit their personal agenda and bringing forth a brood of ungodly children.
A brood of.
Negroes talking about multiple wives and a gang of children and don't want to take care of nobody.
Right.
Not even their own self.
See, how you gonna share pounds? You piss once and you pass it to your brother.
When lust becomes the main objective of your doctrine, you better get the hell up out of there.
That's right.
Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2.
Yes, sir. We
Verse
just
1.
hit 23 and 24. We're gonna move on to all of chapter 3.
Okay, just 23 and 24.
Right.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 23 and 24. For Yahweh created man to be immortal.
Let's get this on the table first. That's what he was created for. Immortality. To dwell with him. He wasn't created like Hebrews 2:15. That wasn't the initial plan. This why when them Negroes keep talking about wasn't no other king born this way, this is what we're talking about. Immortality. You running me to Hebrews 2:15. That's how David was just talking in Psalm 51. That's how we got here. Some of us got here in the back seat of a drive-in. That's how we were conceived. Oh, boy. You just told me. Shaft's big score and you conceived.
3 more away.
Boy, let's get some more of this. Go ahead. Where we at?
Where's that 23, man?
Zebediah.
For Yahweh created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity.
See, that's what we read in Genesis 1:26. Let us make man. He didn't make man like we look right now. I'm talking about in the mindset to think about killing and maiming and violating every one of them top 10. He didn't make man with that thought process, but he had a backup plan. Just like you got to have a backup plan for your children. Look, anything happen to me, this what the deal is. The children know what to do. How you gonna leave them here fending for themselves? Did Messiah do that? He said, look, I'm gonna send y'all somebody back. He's called the Comforter. If you see another Negro around here saying the same thing with oatmeal looking on the back of his neck and hexagrams everywhere, that ain't it. No man. I'm not going to send a man back to do a supernatural job. No man in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, Abraham, Isaac, none of them ever said that I'm third in command or I know I'm this or I'm this much greater. Not one ever did. The Messiah didn't do it on the level these Negroes doing. He gave all the glory to his Father. Never ever did he say, I, me, I am. Like that. And you got a prescription in your pocket? Let's read some more.
Verse 24. And if you go further back up in that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, in between verse 12 and 15, you'll see the description of the Messiah, and it says he was not created like other men.
Right. Absolutely.
In Josephus, it says it might not even be lawful to call him.
Call him a man.
Right.
And the antiquities.
Yeah, the antiquities
of the Jews.
Josephus.
He say if it's lawful to call him a man. See, he knows the difference between Hebrews 2:15 and Hebrews 7:16.
Yeah.
Just like there's a difference from this death we die now and you think it's over. Oh no, there's another death coming. There's a death at the resurrection. Can y'all believe that? There's a death at the resurrection. One more to go. The last enemy, y'all. Let's read some more.
Verse 24.
What it say?
Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world.
What caused death to come into the world?
Envy of the devil came death into the world. And they that do hold of his side do find it.
And you do find it. So death didn't come into Satan, envious of the Most High. Now our laws tell us we can't covet or envy anything of our brother. What made him get outside the brotherhood? He had free will up there, didn't he? Man, ain't y'all tired of just being down here on the 6th level or something? Man, look, we ought to be able to go up there sometime. What you think you gonna do up there and you were created? It's like talking back to your parents like somehow y'all birth certificate is gonna catch up to the same year.
Get beside yourself.
Chapter 4. No, we got chapter 3. That's all. I just want to hit chapter 3. What you got, LC?
Like these heathens want to have that good and have do that one do the other. They think you gonna have to know it. They're so slick, he don't know what they doing.
Right.
The underground monkeys. What's that?
Man, ain't gonna do nothing. You can hide underground.
It's mind for you to even think you can do something
Right.
like that.
Say, even though you dig on yourself all the way to the deepest parts of hell, he would pull you out from there.
So what in your mouth will make you think? I would make you go back.
Because they got to face the last enemy. I don't care how you hide. When we get into Sirach 41, it's going to explain everything you just saying. So we can get a clear understanding of the last enemy, y'all. Y'all, look, I want y'all to think of an opponent, y'all, that's already got 10-8 rounds over you already, if any of y'all know about boxing. He already ahead on every scorecard. You know what? Because if you do win the championship trophy and hold it up, guess who gonna hold up your trophy? The death angel. Because you got to leave here according to the law. Hebrews 9:27, for it's appointed to every man to die. So only hold that trophy up in this flesh and blood for a second. Yeah, you can have a victory over death. Like all of us know, some of us in here, we should already been dead.
Yes, Lord.
Should have been dead what we was doing in clowning. No. Let's read some more, y'all. Chapter 3 of that same Wisdom of Solomon.
Chapter 3, verse 1.
Right.
But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them.
What should not touch them?
No torment.
See, no torment, y'all. So we understand and what this talking about, y'all. Death is not torment. If we understand that Enoch died, I want y'all to understand that Enoch didn't die like how we died and be at Austin Lane. But he had to put off flesh and blood that died before he could go into that realm. Elisha did the same thing. It was the same thing with Messiah when he told Mary, you cannot touch me yet. I'm in a different realm. I'm in a different flesh and blood. You will corrupt this. Can't let you do it, Mary, but I'll be back with a different armor to deal with y'all in this light. And they understood these things, y'all. But we can't go up there like this. All of the prophets that ever seen anything, ain't none of them been past Abraham's bosom. Enoch saw certain things, but there was a limit he could go to. He was just seeing the outcome so that we would not believe once this death is over, there's no more deaths to come. Y'all, when you die, there's another death to come. Because there's an immortality part of you called your soul. It's in perfect shape. If you're born with a cleft foot, or you're a little short upstairs, maybe a can short of a 6-pack, guess what? The soul, that's just the flesh. The soul is healthy as a horse. Everybody that's standing up that was in a wheelchair before they got to Judgment Day will be standing up and drop to their knees. You ain't gonna be standing there in front of the Messiah in a wheelchair looking for mercy. No, your soul will be standing up ready to understand why I may have been born handicapped, because that's what you were shaping in iniquity in. That's gonna be shown to you, but that has nothing to do with the individual you are right now. Because the miracle of Messiah is to strengthen that flesh up that it wraps back around the soul. That's why when a man been lame his whole life and he hit him, it hits his soul, he transformed back into the way he naturally was supposed to be. No medicines or nothing. It's the same way that it got to happen in the kingdom. But you ain't gonna be in no wheelchair. You ain't gonna have half your head blown off from World War II standing up there in judgment line. Nope, none of that. You're gonna be shown that. But everybody that died, when they say, I looked at my body, and then I came back into my body. But I saw myself. I saw y'all standing around me, asking questions. You had on a red shirt, right? And y'all, I'm telling y'all, this way beyond what we could comprehend. There's levels of death. There's 100 levels of consciousness. And then when you finally get to that last one, when the death angel, the second to the last death angel, hits you and say, you be finna leave here, but there's still one more. That's for the unrighteous that don't have the Most High in his hand, that have not overcome that last enemy still waiting. Boy, you done been through it. Ain't you tired of dying? Nigga, you died on the streets 2 times with them heroin overdoses. Now you finally kill yourself, and guess who's still waiting here for you? Death one more time. Unless your name found written in the book of life. It's the only out plan. Let's read.
Ain't got no North King for that.
No, ain't no Norcan for that, boy.
Verse 2. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery.
See, so the righteous, when we die, you take it for like they must have did something wrong. Well, why God take away? Like same thing. Why babies have to die? Why Messiah died? Look, let's take it back to the point where you understand this. Why Adam? You learning about Adam, why he had to die. Let's at least go all the way back.
To the beginning. I mean, that's elementary. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Scripture tell you that this is, the children die because of the fathers. You know what I mean? But that's a responsibility that people don't like to take.
And they don't understand when it says they are innocent. Look, so what's the only thing that constitutes innocence or guilty? Well, what is it? What is weighed in the balance? What do you break to know if you're innocent or guilty or don't break? Law. So if the Messiah say they are innocent, Herod killed the innocents. There ain't no judgment day. Every child 2 years and under he killed. They were called the innocents. And if you read about what happened to him, his bowels fell out. They stank for 6 months. And then they just hung out of his rear end.
Oh, my God. Say that, man.
I'm talking about a walking chitlin man. God damn. I'm talking about before. You talk about how your grandmama could clean chitlins and the smell cut down. These are before. Putting them in that, whatever you soak them in, or whatever the tradition is, and that to try to get some of that stank off of them. But he smelled like outdoors. Read what Josephus say about him.
Worms was all that.
Worms just, I'm talking about just, he's just sitting there, you don't have somebody sweat. A worm will just come out of the palm of his hand. And he do like this.
Waking up, nightmares, throwing up blood. He died.
Tormented.
He died.
And then guess what?
And he still got judged.
And then he still got judgment. The other death angel wait. And he'd be like, oh, that was just a lieutenant. Here's Colonel Death Angel. Dang. Let's read some more, bro.
Verse 3. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality.
What is their hope full of?
Immortality.
See, y'all, that's peace when you go to sleep.
Like Job.
Because
I want to see my maker.
if you die that way, look, and you're granted, then that final death angel, the chief captain death angel, he been looking and say, bro, I ain't got nothing for you. No, you off limits to me. You're the first resurrection. You off limits to me, partner. I ain't got no beef with you. But them other ones you finna resurrect, Hitler and all of them, I'm waiting on them. Well, I got some torment for them. Let's read some more.
Verse 5. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them.
What'd he do?
Proved them. And found them worthy for himself. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine, and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nation.
What they gonna do?
Judge the nation, and have dominion over the people. And their Messiah shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. But the ungodly shall be ungodly. Shall be punished according to their own imagination.
See, y'all understand this is what's called the second death, because this is what the final death angel is. Your imagination is put on the line. Those are the thoughts from the soul. That's what controls your flesh down. but it's the thought from that. That's the final death angel. That's who you are. That's where you get rewarded for him, your thoughts. I'm not talking about the actions after you do it. I'm talking about how it was drummed up in here. That go on trial.
Woo-hoo. And that's most of the time is worse than the actions because the mind can do far more than the body can.
Yeah.
The brain, the mind can travel way beyond what the body, the
Yes, sir.
physical body can ever do.
You dream up some stuff that you
Oh yeah.
Right. Y'all look. If y'all think this crazy, y'all look up Princeton, Harvard, and what's one of them other Ivy League schools? Yale. They have what's called ESP classes, or premonition classes, where they are seeking out those that can open up their third eye at will, at a whim, without PCP.
Right.
You got some people that's how they do it. They open it up with PCP, but then they get on a bad trip. These people are born from the womb. This is what they want to do, get control of it, and they tracing it back through family members. These people, they're using them for supernatural warfare. I want you to talk about jumping in somebody else's dream. Y'all may think this science fiction what I'm talking about, but there's a level of consciousness that we can communicate and you can get off into somebody's mindset 10,000 miles away and control it.
CIA been seeking them kind of individuals out for help.
They actually have the classes in higher universities. I'm talking about that's what they're seeking out.
And then now they're using a lot of them in police investigations.
Yeah.
But what is he gonna do? He gonna let them do that stuff to his people down there? Like it's good people down there on this earth.
But look, we finna get into the death angel. We finna get into it. Yeah. But look, cause it's dealing with what's called familiar spirits. See, that's why he told us not to play with them dark side things, Ouija boards and different things, because the spirit can't die, it travels for you. This is what we talk about. When your consciousness is controlled, it's just like AI, so to speak. You tell Siri what you wanted to do. So that familiar spirit, he like, look, I need to go to, who you talking about? Yeah, I know his granddaddy. I was around then when we was causing some havoc over there in Russia back in the day. Yeah, I know his granddaddy. I know his whole life. Well, I need you to go over there and create some havoc.
Like that movie about the little boy. He could travel in his dreams, right? But he traveled too far and he brought back a demon.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't let them wake up, right? And then as you go on in the movie, it wasn't a demon that the little boy brought back. It was a demon that used to attack his father when he was little.
He had to find a host to get back on this side.
Oh, hey, it's crazy.
Yo, this is what we're talking about.
In cities.
This is what we're talking about, y'all. Hollywood ain't nobody's imagination. He don't have their own imagination. They said imagination is evil. When you think of anything outside this law of goodness, it has rules. So you're not thinking your own thoughts. My thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are higher than your ways. So you don't have an imagination to think of something where you become God. All of it's going to lead back to the Most High, and you have to recognize that and understand that. If you don't, then it's going to always be a problem for you. Let's read some more. I want to hurry up and get through this because we're kind of running out of time. You go ahead.
Okay, I'm at
Go ahead, verse what?
Verse
10.
11.
Did
No,
you
I
finish?
gotta finish 10.
Right.
But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imagination, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Most High. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable.
He is what?
Miserable.
Uh-huh.
And their hope is vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. Their wives are foolish, and their children wicked.
Oh.
Their offspring is cursed. Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which hath not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. And blessed is the eunuch, which with his hands hath wrought no iniquity, nor imagined wicked things against Yahweh. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith, and an inheritance in the temple of the Most High, more acceptable to his mind. For glorious is the fruit of good labor, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. As for the children of adulterers,
As the children of who?
adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection. and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out.
See, and this is what shaping in iniquity means. See, you're shaping, but you still can't be born in sin, because sin is what?
The transgression of the heart.
So what is the fetus doing that it can be born in sin? Is he biting on the umbilical cord? Is he kicking and, like he ready to play for the Rams?
He plotting robbery.
He plotting robbery, from the womb. No, y'all. So once we understand these things, because the law don't start for a child where they can be judged until they reach puberty. That's when the law starts, because it means washing and cleansing.
Then if you read and study, Sarah didn't throw Hagar and Ishmael out until he was already a teenager.
Yeah, he was.
He had already reached
13, wasn't
he? 15.
The law
15, he got circumcised.
The age of accountability.
The age of accountability. So he didn't come into the world wicked, with a wicked mindset.
Yeah, he was trained by Abraham.
He was trained, but she saw his growth in wickedness.
Yeah.
And knew it wasn't going to be nothing good.
Right.
His mama was planting stuff in his
Planting stuff in his
Right.
head.
Right.
Same thing Rebecca
counsel.
was doing to Jacob.
Wicked counsel.
Esau finna get it.
It say she caught
Yeah,
him.
slingshot.
Yeah.
He was pretending with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Pretending to kill him. You
Yeah.
see, like that's the final straw.
Yeah.
He got to go, because if he pretending, he gonna do it.
He gonna do it. Look, he was giving them noogies already. Had them in headlocks and doing Isaac like that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Your little brother remember it. Believe me, he remember it. Everybody that got noogies remembered it. It's still tender right there. Because you don't know the pressure you putting on it, because you laughing.
Right.
It's tender still right there.
He waiting on Zim to get on that wall.
Right. Then then they gonna noogie him up. Go ahead, let's get it.
Verse 17. For though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded.
Oh.
And their last age shall be without honor.
See, and this is what we're talking about. This boy didn't even live long, and his age is gonna be without honor. This the way you got up out of here? See, y'all, this is what we talk about Ezekiel 18. We're gonna get a little bit of that when it say, when a righteous man turn from his righteous and turn wicked, guess what don't get counted?
All that good.
We don't want to hear nothing about you back then.
One mess up is worth a
No.
million attaboys.
Boy, come on. Let's get it.
Verse 18. Or if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial.
In the day of what?
Trial.
See, they already dead, so what's the trial coming up? Huh?
Judgment.
No hope in the day of trial. Look, that's dying in your transgressions.
Man.
Huh?
That means you are already convicted.
Boy,
You just waiting on sentence.
you just waiting on sentencing.
That's broke.
Let's read some more. Finish that off again, Lottie.
Or if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation.
Horrible is the end. Yo, you ain't seen nothing. All that crying you doing at a funeral can't compare to the gnashing and wailing and gnashing of teeth. The only difference in the judgment line is your mouth gonna be closed. You cannot open it up and holler. Like, the chief hollerer at a funeral, all it takes is one person to holler, like it's winding up. There it go. There it go.
There's someone at the other corner.
Boy, in the other corner, then you pulling out your handkerchief now. Well, it ain't gonna be none of that in judgment line. It's gonna be on lock. All you're gonna hear trying to say something. But there's no pleading, because guess what's on trial? Your imagination. You're watching yourself think of the evil. You're watching yourself think of the evil. That's what they have on trial, and you standing there watching it.
No, don't play that. Don't play that.
In front of other men too. They watching it too.
Like he gonna pause your imagination. Hold on, pause. You got something to say? No.
No, that's how you
Yo, let's get it, y'all.
Every man gonna be fearing his own recording.
And let's understand about death, y'all. Ain't nobody got control of it. Give me a little bit of this out of the Bible, Ecclesiastes 8:8.
Yes, sir.
And then we're going to jump right back in the apart for Sirach 41, because we have to understand how to live with this enemy. Y'all, this what we have to learn, y'all. This is the spirit. This Ephesians 6:9. This is what he tells you. Put on the whole arm. Because our weapons of war are not carnal. You cannot deal with a death angel that you can see. How you gonna fight something you can't see?
Right.
And then when you wake up out of dream, if your consciousness is still showing, hell, we can't see him. Don't you see him? Don't you see him standing over there with that? He got it right. He over there in the corner. And you looking like this nigga going crazy. But he actually see it, because it's over there messing with him. Getting you tonight. Is this body for you tonight soon as you go to sleep? And people sitting up in chairs hoping the sun come up. Can you imagine sitting in a chair waiting and hoping you don't drift off to sleep? And sleep is supposed to be sweet and peaceful. And you fighting trying to go. So that means you can't honor no Sabbath because your body is wore down and tired. No sleep, no rest, ain't it? A computer is shut down and go into hibernation if you keep it on too long, won't it? It's like, look, I done had enough. You done had me over all the data space filled up. I'm shutting down. I'm going into hibernation. Where we at?
5:58.
Please, just that 8 and 8. You may need to go down if you have to. I'm not sure. Or bag it up.
You say 5 through 8.
Huh? 5 through 8? Okay.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8.
That's in the Bible, y'all.
Whoso keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing. And a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment.
What a wise man's heart do?
Discerneth both time and judgment.
But see, it's his heart that's discerning the time and judgment. So you can't let nobody else do that for you. You can let no man judge you. Once you know 4 sides of the law, if you're doing something, when you know all 4 sides, there can't be no judgment. Brother, that on the Sabbath? Brother, how you get over here to talk to me on the Sabbath? Well, I drove over here, brother, on the Sabbath. Get out of here. Go ahead, brother. Where we at?
Verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Because to every purpose there is time and judgment.
Right?
Therefore, the misery of man is great upon him. For he knoweth not that which shall be. For who can tell him when it shall be? There is no man that has power over the spirit to retain the spirit. Neither have he power in the day of death. And there is no discharge in that war.
Y'all see, that's a war. Y'all understand that that's a war. No man can control the spirit. You can't force the spirit on you, the Holy Spirit. You don't know when it hits you and you don't know when it leaves. You know why? Because the only time you're going to get is the glory for the most. If we can control the Holy Spirit like they do in the Pentecostal church, coming in 100, coming in 100, coming in 100. Jean-Man calm down. Jesus. If we could control it like that, it still won't profit us because it ain't profited them. They ain't never edifying the church, are they? Has it ever been a witness stand up? I know the interpretation thereof, church.
Stone him.
He has told us. Yeah, that's what it probably will be. But is it any interpreter there?
Never.
So the script say, notice the language it used, it say, let him keep silent. Look, there's a law for silence, and it goes male, female, free and bond. But if you only show a woman must be in silence, how you gonna lead this 1 Corinthians 14 I just spoke? If ain't no interpreter there, let him keep silent. How you gonna speak Hebrew and ain't no interpreter there? Let him keep silent. Isaiah chapter 2, when he went up there, he said, I can't speak among this. I got to be silent. They said, look what? We're going to open your tongue up. Give me a hot coal.
And then they tell you the one that's doing the babbling is the one interpreting. We just don't understand.
Boy, right.
That's the interpreter.
What is the purpose of it then?
What's the purpose? So y'all, there's laws for silence that do free and bond. There's times when you're locked up, you can't speak, male or female, ain't it?
Right.
There's time when you're free, you still can't speak. You can't holler fire in a crowded theater. What's wrong with you? Fire! Boy, Hebrews don't wait to see where the smoke at. They get moving. Popcorn flying and Coca-Cola spilling everywhere. They are out of there. You can't do that in a crowded theater. The laws are for everybody. If you don't say what's the silence part for a man and you cheat, and the script say you guilty of all that law. All four sides of it because you didn't play fair. How you gonna leave the man out when he's supposed to keep quiet? Shut your mouth, woman. Shut your mouth, woman. Shut up. Shut your mouth. And ain't once told him when Messiah say, shut your mouth, woman. The man would have want, so to speak, his bride. Shut your mouth. If you don't explain that, you cheating. It's times where men have to close not only but damn mouth sometimes, because it talks about the tongue. It says you cannot contain it. Is that for one type of people only? Is that just for female only?
No.
So when James is talking about the tongue, he said the smallest member on the body
Does the most damage.
do the most damage. You in a cage fight with your tongue, cause it's inside a cage. It just want to get out and spread poison. Your mama ain't no good.
She had to be
Talk bad about anybody. They mama. So your mom and your daddy ride past the YMCA. They said, look baby, somebody spelled Macy wrong.
It's so bad in this generation. It's normalized. You know, people have the mind state that I have a good heart, but my mouth is bad.
Come on, boy.
That's as backwards as it comes.
It's the tongue that's saying the backwards. It's the tongue that's spouting unlawful talk. That's unlawful talk.
But it's the brain that's teaching it, that's training it.
Let's get some more, y'all. Let's get called. We finished that then. What you got, LC?
What you mean by all four sides of the law?
When we're talking about male, female, free and bond, every law is set to address that situation in case you find yourself. If you're free and then you find yourself bound, that don't mean you stop keeping laws. Whatever you was doing while you was free, you get to say it there's for you to participate when you bound. You can't not do Passover because you locked up. You could be locked up on your own accord and causing problems. You could find yourself in this situation. The laws does not work for the people. The people have to keep the laws. It works for you. It's your defense attorney. If you go against it, here come the prosecutor called Satan. And all he doing is pointing to the law you broke. He's not talking about no other stuff. Yeah, Lord. You think about it? Yeah, Lord, I made him do it. Give him a break. You know what they always say, the devil made him do it. Yeah, man, the devil ain't made you do nothing. The devil asks you, how well do you know your creator? The one you claim, you got his book in your hand, how well do you know him? That's the questions he asks.
That's all he asks. He never goes astray out of the law, because he even bound by the law.
Yeah.
So everything he's done that we read about that he's done and to be accuser, he can only accuse you according to what is written, which is the law. When he tempted Christ, when he tempted Messiah, everything he asked him was concerning the law.
Wasn't it?
He was rebuked by the law. Everything he does, when he went to Adam and Eve, when he went to Eve, it was by the law. He questioned her according to her knowledge and understanding in the law. It was nothing outside of the law. That was the only thing given.
Because he asked, didn't say what did God command you?
What did he tell you?
She told
what was
him.
your commandments? She read them all down. He said, well, he don't want you to be like him.
Right.
All he got to do is put doubt.
Right. You have a choice.
Just create doubt. Envy. Well, we just read, he said he envied mankind through jealousy. Envy, create enough doubt, and that's all it takes, because Christ said you can't enter into the kingdom with doubt. That's enough to break everything you standing for.
So if you don't know the law, you can't bang the Satan.
No,
can't. It's impossible.
You got your hands full.
What you gonna bang with? You got no defense.
And look, what we're talking about is knowing right from wrong. And understand, you don't have to, like we're saying, everybody has to be a scholar. Now, the law is automatic because you get the freebie. The first angel will always tell you, don't you do it. Because your conscience is your own witness. You always say, I should have followed my what? Did you have a book in your hand or was it up here?
And then if that's the case, how is it written in Romans 11 for the Gentile become a law to themselves that they know how to do right and wrong?
How to do right
and they don't have the written law before them. Well, how do they get grafted in?
Right. See, because just in case we don't have this, it's already locked and loaded in here. It's why if you had parents that put that heat on you, and you could have the worst friend in the neighborhood, when he came over your house, he was like a student.
Yeah.
Because his soul desires the law. It's attracted to it. You can't get away from it. He's basically have enough of the street. It's just to the point that if he gets you to break your parents' law, that's how the only way he can get inside. But when you bring him in, you got to tell him up front, oh, she don't play. If you do something, she will put that Hot Wheel track on you. Man, your parents can't whoop me. Well, you can't come in here. You're going to have to wait till I get through eating. And I'll be back out.
Remember that Good Times episode?
All right.
Oh, gangbanging with
you go here with them smart tricks. Boy, James wore him out.
James wore him out. But that child wanted to be a part of that household. Because even though he was from lawlessness, he wanted to be of a household that had law in it.
Right.
Because he saw the respect, he saw the love, all that came with law abiding. He wanted to be a part of that. And if you run across most lawless children out in the streets, if they come to a house that has foundation, they want to be in that house. They want to be a part of that house because there's love. Everything that comes with obedience is there.
Right.
They want to be a part of that.
Right.
They don't want to be a part of disobedience, lawlessness, and no love. Nobody comes into this world want to be not loved.
No.
There ain't no such thing that somebody come in and want to be hated.
Right.
Ain't no such damn thing. Everybody wants love. You can take, I've taught many of some of society say are the worst of the worst. And because I had a no-nonsense attitude towards them, they loved me. And they wanted to be around me all the time. The teachers that let them get away with whatever they wanted to, they didn't give them no respect whatsoever.
Right.
They wanted to be a part of something that was law-abiding and love.
Because you can't get love with law breaking.
No.
What honor you got among thieves? How you gonna let your guard down and both us plotting wrong? You know that open the door. How you gonna be a dope dealer unless an informant's still on the block? You got to get rid of them first, don't you? That's your worst nightmare, ain't it? You're gonna pull up in a gray Rolls Royce. Yeah, half his hair plaited, the other side in the fro. That's how you gonna know him. Informants. It's trouble there because it's wrong. You can't make a pact with the devil and make it right because he's already got his death sentence. How the devil gonna trick you to say it's for a good cause? To who? To who? You think somebody on death row? That's why if you put them on death row, they say, I ain't gonna never tell you where the body's at. I want y'all to squirm and just wonder where your child is that I raped and killed. I ain't telling you nothing. Send me to the grave. And they understand that he went to the grave and we don't know. Do you know the type of hurt and pain that would do to a parent? I will never know where my child is. At least if you show me the body, I can have some peace. But that ain't what the devil like. He like, no, I want you to worry yourself to death This is where we finna get into some Psalm 41, gonna explain all that. I want trouble on you. But look, because the law tells us there's morning days, 30, 40, and at max 70, yeah, we're going, not next, but 70 days. There's certain morning times before you have to come off before you grieve yourself to death.
And then just Joshua, that's what he did to Sarah.
That's what it says. Sarah grieved herself to death about Isaac.
They don't worry yourself to death.
Sure did.
Let's read some more, y'all. Where we at?
I had a quick witness.
Go ahead, bro. What you got?
What Elijah was saying, how the devil does all this, how the jealousy. And
Sirach 41. Yeah, go ahead.
This book of Adam and Eve. I ain't give the chapter and title because we read from two different books of Adam and Eve. But
bring it out, bro.
These pseudos. It's in this chapter 9 right here. This is Eve talking. She says, "Woe to you, O devil! Why do you assault us for nothing? What have you to do with us? What have we done to you that you should pursue us with deceit? Why does your malice fall on us? Have we stolen your glory and made you to be without honor?
Nope.
Why do you treacherously and enviously pursue us, O enemy, all the way to death?" And the devil sighed and said, "Adam, all my enmity and envy and sorrow concern you, since because of you I am expelled and deprived of my glory, which I had in the heavens in the midst of the angels. And because of you I was cast out unto the earth." Adam answered, "What have I done to you, and what is my blame with you? Since you are neither harmed nor hurt by us, why do you pursue us?" The devil replied, "Adam, what are you saying? It is because of you that I have been thrown out of there. When you were created, I was cast out from the presence of Yahweh and was sent out from fellowship of the angels. When God blew into you the breath of life, and your countenance and likeness were made in the image of God, Michael brought you and made us worship you in the sight of God."
Uh-oh, that's the whole problem, y'all. I'm supernatural and y'all gonna force me to worship the dirt man.
Yep.
Satan got 1,000 angels. He said, y'all hear this? Who y'all king? You are Satan. Who got the bling on? You do, Satan. Y'all with me? I'm gonna promise you, I'm gonna give you captain over 50, and you gonna be a captain over 1,000, and you gonna be a cherubim over 10 million. You gonna be a seraphim over it. And they went for it.
Sounds familiar, don't it?
Yep, real familiar.
Go ahead, bro. You
And
finished with
Michael,
that?
just to cut by 3 more verses. And Michael went out and called all the angels, saying, "Worship the image of Yahweh, as the Lord God has instructed." Michael himself worshipped first, and called me and said, "Worship the image of God, Yahweh." And I answered, "I do not worship Adam." And when Michael kept forcing me to worship, he said, "Why do you compel me? I would not worship one inferior and subsequent to me. I am prior to him in creation. Before he was made, I was already made. He ought worship me."
And y'all see why he was in the garden working? You know why he was already there cast down?
It sounds very
Don't
familiar.
that sound very familiar? Sounds like the language of an earthly man.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, the Messiah washed the disciples' feet. These were offspring shaping in iniquity, descendants of Adam, and he washed their feet. And Satan, you can't, all you doing is working for them, all you doing is keeping them safe. You're showing them orders of Melchizedek, that's all you do. But I got to do, I'm under their control. And that was your first estate. Remember when you signed the contract, you're going to work for man. You're called guardian angel.
These niggas say that.
You're not called guardian angel of the angels. You're guardian of men. You go tend to their needs. Like Michael, Gabriel, Raphael come and tend to our needs. They ain't got no problem with it, do they?
They go quick.
They go quick. But you hard-head. You Bokeem Woodbine hard-head and Jason Lyrics.
Ooh, that's hard head.
Can't get right.
Right. Let's get some more of this 41 of Sirach. Yo, this gonna get into understanding, y'all, death in the sense of how to understand it's a necessary evil. It has to happen.
Bro, what was the chapter and verse? Somebody asking on here. Shema, what
About the Adam and Eve, you
chapter
read?
and verse?
Yeah, what you reading now?
That was in the book of Adam and Eve.
In the pseudepigrapha.
So that was in the second volume of the pseudepigrapha. Started the second book of Adam and Eve.
Second book of Adam and Eve.
Chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
Y'all read that whole thing. He just hit a portion of it. Read that whole thing. Get the subject matter.
Start at the beginning.
And then when you read Ezekiel 28 and 12, it's going to tell you what Satan looked like when he was up in the heavens, 28 and 12 on down, how much bling he had on, and then his pipes was in him, so he was leading the songs up in heaven.
And that's what that second witness?
That Ezekiel 28 and 12 on down.
Ezekiel 28 and 12.
But if you notice, everyone that follows the ways of Satan has the same mindset, the same language and speech that he had about Adam and Eve, about Adam.
I was doing this before.
I refuse to worship anything that I see inferior to me.
Right.
Exalted Israelites do that.
Right.
Every day. And like Daniel said, but the Messiah washed the apostles' feet.
Right. But you would never see these Negroes do such a thing
Boy,
because
come on.
they have exalted themselves. They become Lord over their
Over their
brethren.
own brother. See, when the script tell even the honor the age, but look, and it tell you rebuke not the elder, but it say, but he has to be an example for you. He cannot lord over the flock.
That's right.
He has to be an example. Well, what example do you got, elder? What you got going?
That's right.
15 failed marriages, 3 jail stints. What you got going as an example for the flock?
Right.
That where the rebuke grants you authority like that, there's a line they can't cross when they rebuking an elder. So y'all, this thing is so we never get out of line, because once we man up to the Most High, you done went too far. He called us little children, don't he? Mm-hmm. When are you gonna be a man to your father? You can't be the same man he is. You can't make yourself equal with your dad.
Well, that's why they shower us with all that, I speak Hebrew, I can do this, I can do that, I'm doing this. That's why they push all that in our face.
Look, if you do that, you're gonna be waiting to get your daddy back. Or your mama. She come over your house. Close that damn refrigerator, mama. I ain't gonna get the whole neighborhood cool. If you think you can raise yourself back up to that level because you get your own house, daddy, close that damn door. I ain't trying to heat the whole neighborhood. Okay, son.
Oh no. Even look like
What you keep looking at that refrigerator for, mama? The same thing in there that you looked in there 10 minutes ago is still in there. Go sit your old ass down somewhere and watch Jeopardy.
I don't think none of us would be around.
You must just pay your
What you say, boy? Just paid your life insurance. I know that's right. Let's get it, y'all.
I couldn't even fathom it.
Sirach 41 and 1. And y'all, this is talking about our enemy. So y'all, look, when I tell you, or I'm not telling you, when the script tell you that everything is based on the law. There's law of physics in it. It's the law of gravity. Everything has a set of rules how it operates. So there's a law of death. Yes, it is. There's a law of death. So that you understand the law of death, you have to be trained on it, don't you? Which side not to fall on death? Because look, you're going to die unless Messiah come back. And you change in an instant. It's still a form of death because you got to take this flesh off of you. This can't walk into the kingdom. Still with envy lurking in the background. Still with covetousness lurking in the background. So you will die this flesh and be transformed in a twinkling of an eye. Nobody even see you fall down. That's how quick it hit. Boom! Like it hit Paul on the road to Damascus. Let's read.
Or face first on the in the backyard.
Yeah, oh boy. Oh, he had Maynots everywhere. Go ahead, where we at?
That was in the twinkling of an eye.
Sirach chapter 41 verse 1.
What it say?
O death, how bitter is the remembrance of thee to a man that liveth at rest in his possession.
See, death. Look, it's painful for a man that liveth in his possessions. I got lotto winners. and my birthdays keep coming. I got more money than time left. And they clocking. I got $1 billion, but my birthdays won't stop. They rolling me up to the cake in a wheelchair, but I still got billions in the bank. Don't want to leave here, do you? Go ahead, what else to say?
O death, how bitter is the remembrance of thee to a man that liveth at rest in his possession, unto the man that hath nothing to vex him.
Nothing to vex me. I ain't worried about nothing. Don't nothing vex me. I'm set. But guess what? Who's out there? Yeah. Let's get it.
Death around the corner. That had prosperity in all things.
And had what?
Prosperity in all things. Yeah, unto him that is yet able to receive me.
Unto him that is yet received. Oh, death. Guess who lurking around the corner? Death. Because you know you could be eating good and start choking. Guess who right there? They're just like this. I'm gonna let you go.
Almost had
Just
it.
almost had you, didn't I? I'm gonna leave you alone this time. And they fly like, what is money gonna do at that point?
Nothing.
How you gonna summon the best doctor when it's a piece of hog fat right here? Stuck right here. Go ahead, bro.
O death, acceptable is thy sentence unto the needy, and unto him whose strength faileth, that is now in the last age, and is vexed with all things, and to him that despaireth and hath lost patience.
Now this is a difference. Yeah.
Now
See,
you want death.
You want death because you're in poverty. Everything gone from her. You beg death to come. What is life worth right now? I don't have any what's called quality of life. Then you welcome death.
Right.
But death may be saying, man, you don't give me no commandments.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how you got in this position. Not going in that bank with that 40 cal, you wouldn't be in this position. You want me now though, you want me to holler at you, huh? Well, nope, I wasn't sent yet.
Got blasted on by 5-0, but you still alive.
Yeah. Woman that throwed hot grits on you and your face looked like, yeah, keloid man. But death say, no, not yet. I need you to ugly up another time before I take you. Let's get it, boy.
Verse 3. Fear not the sentence of death.
Fear not what?
Fear not the sentence of death. Remember them that have been before thee, and that come after. For this is the sentence of the Elohim over all flesh.
This the sentence, y'all. Look, if you don't think about who died before you, how you gonna present a case because how God gonna kill babies?
I don't want to die.
You ain't even acknowledging for making the baby yet. You didn't say nothing at the birth about the Most High. Didn't thank him enough. Didn't give him no glory. And now you mad. And you ain't said nothing about Adam. In church you said you were saved. You know what this is then. But yet he's at fault because a baby died. That's because you don't know where the baby's at. You don't understand what innocence is. You don't understand like David and the baby he had with Bathsheba illegally. And he prayed and fasted for that baby, but the baby died on day 7. Because day 8 he would have had to been what? Circumcised. If it was a boy. But the Most High say, no, that can't come in. How you going, David? This, your offspring's got to run the, come on, David. You tripping. And they want to say Messiah came in the same way like David did with Bathsheba. These Negroes that say Joseph the daddy, y'all, you may not see it that way, but that's what the end result is. It's blemished. It's blemished. It's outside of the order. He don't care what you say. Sex ain't marriage by itself. If you leave it by itself, then there can be no harlots, nor prostitutes. It could be only a woman committing adultery. if sex is marriage. And then you can't really get that cause as soon as he married unless she sleep with somebody else. But you cannot have a harlot. It's impossible.
Couldn't be no fornication.
It couldn't be no fornication. But these Negroes know better than that, but they cheating with one half of the law. Ceremony missing. What was the Messiah's first miracle? What was he at? At a what?
But they
Was he at the honeymoon suite or was he at the reception hall?
He was at the reception hall. The hell he gonna be at their honeymoon?
Sweet father. Right.
What Negro you know gonna take another people to the honeymoon suite? Not to call the Messiah a Negro, but I'm telling you, what couple finna take some company on their honeymoon suite?
Look,
Let alone be in the bed chambers with them.
right, what you gonna tell? I just need some instructions. You know I'm new at this.
Negro, please.
He gonna give you some instructions. Boy, please. But that's what these Negroes doing in them camps.
But see, they ain't.
Look, they control the marriage. They dictate who you consummate with. No, you can't marry her. We've picked your bride for you already, and they're gonna watch and perform and make sure you don't do the wrong thing.
But they've already tested the waters. Water's already been tested.
Right, and then they divorce and she got to walk as the scourge of the earth for the rest of her
Boy.
life.
Yeah.
She can't marry nobody else.
Nobody else.
Stop running through women and tossing them away.
Yo, and all we're talking about, some say, well, them niggas just weak. They want to look. There's laws for women. If you don't tell the women the laws that are for them, it's why it's working against you. At least you got to let them sit on their own bottom and tub. I told you that. See, the only reason Adam said, he said the woman, she broke the law, but the problem is we could have stopped her. But why you join in then?
Right.
How you gonna point the finger and join in? You was smiling till it was over. Whether it was 2 or 20 minutes, it was smiling like the Joker.
That's just like Satan did to Adam. He blamed Adam for what he did.
Boy, same thing.
In our favor.
Same thing.
It's the finger point.
It's the finger point game. Well, the rules was already there, Satan, when you signed it. When I gave you your breastplate, when I made you one of the top cherubims, anointed cherubims. That means you had rank. You was above the seraphim and the teraphim. You was up there with the high rankers. When you signed that contract and I gave you that breastplate, I say, Adam, come. No problem with me. Ain't nothing there. Let's get some more.
Verse 4.
What it say?
And why art thou against the pleasures of the Most High? There is no inquisition in the grave.
The Most High got pleasures?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Whether thou have lived 10 or 100 or 1,000 years.
There's no pleasure in the grave. Well, you think Methuselah bragging? Man, boy, 969 years on earth. When did death angel come for you? I was 13. 13, boy, you ain't. All he had to do is say, where both of us at now?
Right. Right.
We both were.
Great.
I'm 13 and you that age, and we stop right there.
Don't matter.
They can't have a 970th and 71 and 72nd birthday for you on earth, 969. Just like they can have no 14, 15, and 16. You can't have cakes out for the dead. They're not aging anymore. He'd be 79 today if it was his birthday. If your aunt had testes, she'd be your uncle.
That's right. Yeah.
Nowadays, she might
Go ahead. We are in them last days. Go ahead, y'all. Let's finish this up. I want to get caught up. We ain't got nothing about 37 minutes. 46 seconds. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5.
What it say?
The children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish. and their prosperity shall have a perpetual reproach. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake.
See, and that's the time when, you know, and a lot of this happened because the rules were broken. It's the only way it brings about an ungodly father. Women fell into silly mode or whatever mode, or he got a hold of something attacked him, to where if they turn to the children and say, you're not going to be dung because your father wasn't dung and his daddy wasn't dung. See, once you put that into a mind of a child, then you send him on that mission like that based off of his father. It's one thing to say, don't be like the dung bearer who introduced you into my womb. Don't be like that. Be like this. But see, to get punishment back, you'll put that curse on a child. You can't tell no child that. You ain't gonna be nothing. What else is he supposed to think after that point? Nothing false, right?
He gonna act on what he's not. You know, if I ain't nothing, why act like I'm something?
Right.
So I must do disobedience. There ain't no good in me, so I do what an ungodly person does. It's just like when dope fiends try to go get off the dope, and they go to these rehabs, and they tell them they want them to be cured, but they want them to keep coming back to the program.
Right.
Well,
And to say you still a what?
You still a dope. Once a dope fiend, always a dope fiend. So if your mindset is stuck on, well, I'm a dope fiend, I'm gonna go out and do what a dope fiend
Right.
does.
I already got my alibi. I got my alibi.
I'm already a dope fiend. So I might as well continue to do what a dope fiend does, because it's been grained into my psyche that once a dope fiend, I can never change. So eventually everyone that was once caught up eventually relapsed.
Yeah.
Because the mindset is, I'm a dope, once a dope fiend, always a dope fiend. So I must do what a dope fiend does.
That's right.
The whole 12-step program says it works if you work and keep coming back.
Right.
Why the hell I want to come back
Right.
if I'm trying to be cured? Exactly. It ain't for you to be cured, it's a Band-Aid. You help feed and pay our bills and our paycheck.
Yeah.
Man, we was in drug court, man. They told us, they say once you start on the drugs, you never really get off of it. So it's really no such thing as a relapse. You know what I mean? Because you never really get healthy in the first place. It's just a lapse. Like that's what we was going to class, and that's what this man was teaching us.
See, so it teaches you not to seek immortality.
Right.
It's saying I ain't nothing.
Only humans, right?
You always got that, and then that's what you keep repeating it. You always, I'm flawed. I'm flawed. See, but that's only looking at it for dope. When we gonna have? Yeah, I guess they got a gluttonous anonymous.
Yeah, they got it all. You know, for everything, sexaholic, eating disorders.
Right.
I mean, it's for every aspect of life. However, all these things are funded. They're all funneled by the same organization. And they're all getting paid. They're all paying off each other. They're all linked to the pharmaceuticals. They're all linked to the hospitals. Everybody, it's all
Right.
a whole business.
That's right.
It's a business.
Because if you're not sick,
It's a nucleus.
if you're not sick, then they don't get paid. Like he said, that's why the kingdom is so important. How you gonna create a kingdom and you still need doctors? You still need air. You still need all of the things that this life needs to survive. How do you call that the kingdom? I can get that at home. I ain't got to follow a bunch of niggas and turn over power of attorney to live and to go backwards.
That's crazy.
You going back into slavery.
Yes. And you chose it.
And you choose it. Because you want a kingdom that you can see right now, and you settle for worse than you had.
Not only that, you choose your brethren to be Lord over you.
Boy, and that's the worst thing you can do.
Submit all your powers to somebody that's no better than you.
Boy,
Submit everything
And trying to say that's the kingdom.
and say that's the kingdom.
I mean, at least it would be good if you got some other nations or something up in that deal.
I'm talking about, but
serving you.
how you go from eating a decent meal to rations?
Right.
I mean, what kingdom you talking about? You splitting a Happy Meal?
Ain't nothing happy about splitting the happy meal.
Boy,
Real life, man, no perfect example. I just want to make this. Just the other day, I went out and bought some breakfast for the family. Me and the missus didn't feel like getting up cooking, you know. I'm like, go get something ready made. But the money I spent on that shit,
Boy.
man, I was like, what the heck? I'd never do this again.
Right.
I said, I could have went to the store,
Right.
bought me a pack of this, bought me a pack of this back. I'd still been
Right.
cheaper than what I
Right.
paid and got way more had left over. I went back home, I said, never again. This will never happen again.
all you need, you just paid. Look, he just paid chef packaging. That's all you did. It costs for chef
And
packaging
it wasn't worth
But that's the mindset.
none of that.
because he prepared it
I was
for
so
you.
disgusted, man.
Yes.
I was fired up.
Look.
And not only that, because I left my wallet, so I had to pay cash.
Oh.
Really pissed. Oh man.
And
I
look.
was pissed. I'm driving home, boy. My son looking at me like, Daddy, you
Look.
okay? I'm like, this will never happen again.
Right.
We gonna cook.
Look, because when you cook, it's always LOs, ain't it? Leftovers.
Yes.
But when you fast food, look, it's gone. That's it. There ain't no leftover.
Right.
And if it is a fry, you can't eat that the next day.
No.
It's like eating boxing
Oh,
can.
boy, come on, that's like eating the box, like you say, it came in. So y'all, what this is a patient walk, y'all. There's time
man.
when the spirit quickening, but it still has to be cooked. Even like the Feast of Unleavened Bread, when we left Egypt in haste, the only reason it was going to take time for the bread to rise.
Right.
It wasn't, we didn't eat uncooked bread, we just ate flat bread.
We had to get going.
They quick cook,
It's just
but it's
like
still cooked.
Just like when he says, if it's that time, flee to the
Right.
mountains. Don't go back to get. So it just like we had to burn out. Wasn't no time for just waiting around.
Right,
Get.
right. Check mama's cornbread again. See if it rolls up. No, 2
We got
inches
time.
what I'm
We
looking.
gotta
No,
go.
ain't no time for that.
We gotta go.
Ready to go.
Ready to
I'm
go.
talking about hot water cornbread. Y'all know how quick you can make it.
I was just gonna say that.
My papa will make some.
Let's read some more. Boy did it with some beef stew. Boy,
I'm
you,
hey, boy, I'm sitting there
look
thinking
here.
how tender them chunks of meat.
Beef stew with hot water cornbread.
Boy.
Made me want it again.
Boy.
Yeah, I come from that southern family upbringing.
Y'all, and that's all we're talking about is we're not saying, you know, but you can't get hooked on a different chef, so to say, because prepackaged food, if it ain't cooked, you still have to get it thawed out. You still have to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may be in a position where you just have to grab something, knock the edge off, but ain't no LOs. Ain't no leftover. It's not going to be the same. It's not designed to last another day in the microwave. If it does, it's going to be like you had 2 different meals. All it's doing is filling the hole.
And not only that, it's worse off because now you done destroyed anything that was remotely nutrient in it.
Right. Let's get it, y'all. Where we at? 41 and what?
Verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High Yahweh.
Uh-huh.
For if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction.
See, if you increase after you breaking the law, and some people do it. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. So you gonna pull out your best moves unto death, huh? Are you?
Yep, they will.
The chandelier surprise you gonna pull out, huh? Ain't gonna go into no details, is what I heard. Go ahead.
Don't story.
Go ahead, sir.
Verse 9. And if ye be born, ye shall be born to a curse.
No.
And if ye die, a curse shall be your portion. All that are in the earth shall turn to earth again. So the ungodly shall go from a curse to destruction.
Y'all hear that? From a curse to destruction. Hold that, just hold right there. Give me a little bit of Ecclesiastic 12. Give me them last 2 verses, 13 and 14, so you can understand exactly what this means. You can live 100 years, that don't mean the death ain't waiting on you. You cannot escape it. Plastic surgery don't fool the death angel, does it? You can't change from a man to a woman and fool the death angel. Think he don't know who you is. He know who you is, Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner. He know your real name. Right.
The soul, you change the outward.
You change the outward.
You can't change the soul.
No, but it's going to be a man standing up there.
Yep.
That's what he's coming to judge.
You can change your outward appearance, you can't change the soul.
It's still law. All he doing is wearing that pertaineth to a woman. Deuteronomy 22, what it say? You should not wear that pertaineth to a woman. Men, you cannot wear that. There's no thing on the market. There will be no manginas in the kingdom. None. You can't wear that. That's not going to be worn in the kingdom.
See them jeans with them hips in them.
Boy. Jeans with hips. Go ahead, bro.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, I'm going to do from 12.
Yeah.
And further, by these, my son, be admonished of making many books, there is no end. And much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Y'all, the conclusion, y'all, they're saying ain't nothing coming behind this. This is the final stand. This is what's happening. This is, see, we don't have to get into contest with Egyptologists and all that. All you have to ask them, what is the conclusion of the whole matter? We can sit here and argue who came first, Adam or Hotep, all you want. What is the end game? Where do we go from here? Is Hotep or Wotep or whoever it is coming back to ease this misery of the man you claim made up the Bible? Because if he don't, you still rocking to his orders, ain't you?
Yep.
You still under orders. You just like somebody starting their kingdom and say, the government, their wicked self is coming here to review it. How you gonna, somebody can just come in your space and review you?
Right.
And the people don't think, damn, we ain't in the kingdom then. I thought you was gonna take over.
I thought you was the head.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yah and keep his commandments.
Y'all, do y'all see how this is the final result no matter where we turn to is law? It's not word etymology. It's not how you say his name. You say his name by his law. And he said, I know you talking my name because you keeping my commandments. But I ain't said, you didn't have to say it. It's in spirit and truth and it's in deed. You ain't broke that law. What did we read that Nathaniel did? Everybody quotes Nathaniel when the Messiah said, the Israelite, indeed, no guile in his mouth. Can anybody say what makes him and the Messiah look at him and say it like that with him? It's got to be about something that's internal, that's in, and they know. This is an Israelite right here. No guile, there ain't no trickery involved. When you gotta trick somebody, if you gotta tell a woman, you know, a single man to cheat on you too, just to get them to jump onto polygamy, you still cheating. It's still cheating.
I just saw that. I did. And I remember.
How you gonna threaten them into it? The Messiah ain't threatening us to take the walk, is he? How you gonna threaten them into a man-made doctrine that say if a man take a second wife? How does it become he must do it?
That's the only way they can get it.
And if you don't do it, I'm going to label some threats on you. I'm going to tell you he going to kill you. You don't like single women, going to kill you. Your man going to cheat on you. So what? Let him cheat. That's what divorce is for.
Put our money together. Oh, come on, man. Using all these excuses.
Protection.
Right.
And you in the closet because you saw somebody with CP on their jacket. You took off running in the closet. Child support. CS, I should say. Go ahead.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yah and keep his commandments.
Right.
For this is the whole duty of man.
That's the whole duty, y'all. Fear God and keep his commandments. You don't have no other duty. Look, even if you take on something else in your life, it still has to be by the commandments of God. You have to work this long, you have to do this, you have to do, it's still by his commands. It's simple. It's the only way to live.
He said duty.
Boy.
I could help
Boy, that's the problem. That's the problem. See, a duty is an assigned job, ain't it? Huh? Ain't a duty assigned job?
Yes,
Y'all finish your duties in here today?
I'm off today.
Well, you finished your duties yesterday.
Nope, it was incomplete.
Right. Well, you know what happened behind that. You know what's behind that. That's trying to eat with a sower. But y'all see where it always keeps coming back to. Y'all, everywhere it says something in here, it's for a rich man, it's for a poor man.
That's right.
It's for a rich woman and it's for a poor woman. It's for a free man and a bond man. It's for a free. That's what the law is for. You have to look at that law for every position of every individual that can fall into it. Because we didn't ask to be on a free case, did we? Mm-hmm. You think, did Joseph ask for 12 years in the penitentiary? No. Because of a free case. So while he's locked up, but what did he do while he was locked up? I can't interpret no dreams. He didn't give up on the Most High, did he?
No.
Wasn't hollering, why me? Man, I'm being punished for not committing adultery. The Lord punishing me for that. He like, no, I got something saved up for you. I have to reward you for your diligence. Let me send you through a little light test. It ain't nothing. And when he got down there, he was breaking all them off. What you in for? Oh, well, let me tell you what's going to happen. I had a dream last night. You going to get your job back. You going to be hung. This is what Joseph was doing in jail. You know, now, and y'all think about that. What the man thinking like, who me? Why I got to be hung? That's what the dream says. You going to get your job back. He ain't. Now, y'all want to know the interpretation thereof. And but see, that was him still on the line. Because it had to come to pass, didn't it?
Yep.
Or he just fat mouthed. Because they brought him from jail. They didn't release him from jail. They just took him out of cell and cleaned him up. Come on, you got to see the judge. He went back to jail after he got through. Then he was let out, you know, Pharaoh's birthday.
Right.
So his birthday is a bad thing or a good thing. That's why we keep saying you got to look at it from all four sides. Joseph got out on Pharaoh's birthday. Is that a good thing or bad thing after 12 years?
Oh, that's a good thing.
Job never said that he prayed for them because they were having a birthday party. He said in case they might have sinned.
Her
adventure. They might, even in the future, if they get beside themselves and one want to show his power, stand up on the table and guzzle down a fifth of Hennessy. In case they might have sinned.
And that was only, he didn't want them to get beside themselves because they were the offspring of a rich man.
Well, come on.
And then he didn't want them to exalt themselves over his brethren, their brethren, and be lordship over their brethren and not extend hospitality to their brethren.
But that's what we're talking about. And the third man, John the Baptist, getting his head cut off. Was that a bad thing on Pharaoh's birthday? Yes, it was. But was it about his birthday or was it about something else?
It was about a promise he made.
It's about a promise he made to whoremongering and lusting after his brother's daughter. And he's sleeping with her mama at the same time. So he got law breaking piled up on law breaking. John the Baptist, it just happened to be on his birthday that it happened. He like, what you want, woman? Them hips moving faster than Shakira. What do you want? And she whispered to her mama, what should I ask for? Ask for John the Baptist's head.
On the charge.
On a charger.
And he felt bad about it too.
He felt bad about it, but he had let that oath come out of his mouth. I'll give you half the kingdom of whatever you ask. I'm talking about hypnotized. I'm talking about making a decision like that of another man's life because of the way a woman's hips is shifting up and down and side to side.
Man, they do it every day, man. These niggas do it every day.
Every day.
And he said, put his head on the charge, and then he crying, and did y'all kill him? Yeah, we killed him. At your command.
He pull up on you to try to fight over a woman. He said he don't want because of the way her hips move.
Boy.
Verse 14. For Yah shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing.
Every secret thing.
Every secret thing.
Imaginations.
Whether it be good or whether it be
See,
evil.
it has to be exposed, the good thing about it. Like if somebody did something for you and you like, he just dropped off, he left, he ain't been back. You will be shown that secret good thing. Damn, that's how I made it. That's what it was. Every secret thing will be brought out. So nothing is left to the imagination. All questions will be answered on Judgment Day. Who my dad? Right there. Earl at the tire shop is my, yes, that's him. Not him. All secret things will be manifest, good or bad. Yo, that's a day that, you know, and you think about it here, we think about it now. I'm taking that one to the grave with me. All you're saying is, I got to delay this to judgment. Can you judge here? These niggas crazy.
You don't want no judgment now, boy.
Let's get it. What we at?
Boy, you talking
Shit.
about torment to death.
Boy,
Sit right.
where we at? You finish that? Yeah, let's get right back to that Sirach, y'all. We only got 2 more scripts, and we're gonna call it a day.
Sirach chapter 41 verse 11.
What it say?
The mourning of men is about their body, but an ill name of sinners shall be blotted out.
See, the mourning is about the body, it's about the flesh, because you're not mourning the soul.
Right.
A sick man don't mourn his soul, he's mourning that flesh. That's what's killing him. Lungs clogged up, gangrene in the big toe, kidney stopped working. It's about the body. But that body that's in you, that soul, it's a well-oiled machine working non-stop, and it's in its pristine position. It's just where it's going to end up. There'll be no handicap in the lake of fire. There'll be nobody that can be sitting there claiming, why should I be here? Because it's going to be your soul. If it was not so, you wouldn't dream that you're walking. You wouldn't dream that you can fly. You are doing the things that you'll be able to do in the kingdom.
You grinning, Hosea. What you been doing?
The 1-2 dunk contest.
Hosea over there
What we
grinning ear to ear. He like, yeah, no.
Where we at, y'all?
Verse 12.
What it say?
Have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold.
That's why he said, let no man judge you in Colossians 2:16. Have some courage, some dignity about yourself. And that you can, so when they talk about, oh, him, yes, sir. Remember that ark. May the Most High have mercy on his soul, a good down, brother. But you don't want to leave here with no stank name.
No.
I'm glad that nigga gone.
I'm glad, but who, boy? But they were saying that when you stayed and we're all your welcome. They were saying it first then.
Yeah, yep.
It's just permanent now.
Yeah.
Let's read some more.
Verse 13. A good life have but a few days, but a good name endureth forever.
Look, script surrounded. It said David died at 70. That's King David, y'all. 70. It talks about how long he reigned and how long he was, and we can't get no birthdays in between of that. Life was quick. That's quick, ain't it?
Yep. Especially when you compare it to his forefathers.
But his name lived forever, don't it? We still talk about David, ain't we? Let's read some more.
Verse 14. My children, keep discipline in peace, for wisdom that is hid, and a treasure that is not seen. What profit is in both? Is in them both. A man that hideth his foolishness is better than a man that hideth his wisdom.
Y'all see that? A man that hideth his foolishness is better than a man that hideth his wisdom. You must show forth wisdom. It's a gift of the Most High. It's one of the gifts. If you got it, show it and share it. Why you gonna hold that to yourself? See, that's what happens when you start to get with these cliques and codes that talk about higher learning. But guess what they got behind it? Secret. Shh, shh. You can't say this or we're gonna cut your tongue out by the root and throw you in the west seas of the sand. You can't do. Okay.
Mom's the word.
Mom's the word. I can't tell you, you probably read it in a book. Negro, you fear some man-made commandments like that? Let's read some more.
Verse 16, therefore be shamefaced according to my word. For it is not good to retain all shamefacedness, neither is it altogether approved.
You forgot a word in there. Start that 16 and say, therefore a woman be shamefaced. Of course, you didn't see that.
Therefore, women say that again.
Exactly.
He doing what they do.
Right.
Exactly. I'm just doing that because that's what's being taught. Only they should be shamefaced.
Right.
See, so, and this is what I'm saying when it's talking to male and female, free and bond, when it's talking about this right here. It wasn't targeting one individual. Let's read some more. That's why I keep saying the law kill it under the order of Aaron. That's what it was for. It was discipline unto the death. At least under Melchizedek, you get a chance to think about it. No, I ain't gonna do that. Let me out the car, though. Let me out the car. Ain't nothing wrong with that, is it?
I done got out.
Because what happened to Doughboy 2 weeks later?
He lived.
Huh?
No, he died.
He was killed in the drive.
About 2 weeks later. Let's read some more.
Verse 17.
What you had, Jose?
Be ashamed of whoredom before father and mother, and of a lie before the prince and the mighty man.
How you gonna come around your parents with whoredom? I mean, they know what marriage is. They've been married for 40 years, and here you come up showing with 3 women.
What kind of honor is that?
That conversation didn't go
Who these
well with
people
me and
here? You a whoremonger in front of your parents? You gonna bring this drama to them, and you gonna tell them this what marriage really is?
Wow.
And then you switching all 3 of them out.
Right.
3 or 4 months.
Yeah, that's what I don't
My mama would be like, don't bring that
Yeah,
My mama like my
Nike.
swing. Get up out of there.
Swap about like that.
Mama done said,
Oh,
who
they
is
this
this
dragging women.
What they say, boy, who is this hussy? They'll embarrass you. Who is this?
Mama ain't gonna bite her lip, boy. She
Oh, these my wives, mama. Don't you still owe me $16?
my family over there.
Oh, mama, you didn't have to say that in front of my wife. Look, y'all, we going to bed hungry again tonight. Mama that took our money. Let's go.
Mama that took up
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Mama a dragon woman.
What, mama, a dragon? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, that's what it said. Who's my mother? Who's my brother? Y'all see now? I ain't got no mother. Right. Boy, y'all. Don't bring that whoredom around your parent. That's why when down south you couldn't bring your girlfriend. You could, but y'all sleeping in different rooms. Yeah. Well, hold on, where you going, Alpha? You said Willie's sleeping in that room. You see that couch with them blankets? That's your bed. He didn't tell you on the way down there.
My mother would be like, y'all stupid enough to go for this?
Boy.
This my son. I raised this
Boy.
I wouldn't try it, mama.
Right. I wouldn't, ain't no way I wouldn't.
Boy.
She's not just getting embarrassed like that. No, sir.
Boy. You know they know him. That's why they be mad at him.
She gonna have a field day. She gonna call my auntie. Oh, yeah.
Boy would tell everybody. Bring up all your transgressions. Yeah, probably gonna take 2 or 3 of you women to get them stains out his drawers. So Lord know I had a tough time with him.
Boy, can't wipe his hands
They
good.
can't wipe it good. And they 3 looking like, damn, we have been scrubbing for 2 days on them 3 pair of drawers he got.
That's why he ain't got no white
Boy,
ones.
right. Boy, they'll bust you out. You come up in there, they will bust you out. This who you calling your husband. Where my money? Right. Let's get it, y'all. Read that verse again, Zed. Verse 17.
Verse 17. Be ashamed of whoredom before father and mother, and of a lie before the prince and the mighty man, of an offense before a judge and ruler, of iniquity before a congregation and people.
See, be ashamed before you have to stand for a judge. You better act like you finna show some remorse. You scowling in this man right here. You think cussing him out and they leading you to the left. You win. F you, judge. You can kiss my ass. And you heading on through there. He said, give him a taste of darkness as well for 60 days.
It's gonna get your eyes black as soon as you get behind the door.
And when you see sunlight again, your eyes gonna be flashing like somebody done throw salt in it. And then as soon as they let you out, you focus good. Oh, the judge just told me he wanted you to see me tell you, you getting another 60 days in darkness. Close the door. If you standing before a judge, it's not saying, the shamefacedness is saying it look like, you know he's got power right now. The Messiah said, look, my father gave you power. That's why I ain't saying nothing right now. I have to do this. This is not my command to withstand you. My father told me you're going to have to walk that walk. But just like the Romans at the end knew, oh, this truly was the Son of God. When that sun got dark for 6 hours, 3 hours, earthquake hit.
One of them.
They're like, oh yeah, we done messed up now. We done messed up now, y'all. Let's read some more.
Of an offense before a judge and ruler, of iniquity before a congregation and people, of unjust dealing before thy partner and friend.
Unjust dealing. Man, I'm telling you, it's a dime bag.
Man, this ain't worth $3.
Boy.
Sticks, stems, and seeds.
Boy.
Yeah.
And this your partner?
Yeah.
No, y'all see, this is what they talk about, unjust balance.
Right. Just listen to that.
You know, that's all it's talking here. You got to make sure, y'all, these things are correct in your life. It don't matter what it is, you know. Look, that's why I tell you, you can't make oaths that you can't keep. You can't say, give me that and I'll give it to you Thursday. Since when Thursday been promised to you? Right. And it's Wednesday night.
When you give up the ghost.
11:59, you still can't make the promise. I'll see you tomorrow. How long does a heart attack take?
6.
Whoever say I was hunting and I was coughing for at least a minute, I was timing the heart attack.
Almost gave up the ghost just climbing my steps.
Boy, Elijah was asking for insurance papers and get that suit that I like to wear.
From the first step to the top step, everything changed. That quick. I couldn't breathe by the time I got to the top of the steps. I couldn't get no air in or nothing out.
And y'all know that's the only way to survive. Yo, this is why we talking about, we can talk about good diets, yeah, we can talk about that and what you do, but that's not gonna do anything about the air you have to breathe. That reigns supreme. That's why this virus is doing what it's doing. You can't eat it away. It's airborne. It's looking for a deficient immune system. It's designed to attack what you trust a medicine to take care of your body for you for. That's what it's looking for. And it beats that drug up, and now your body don't know how to defend itself anymore. What do I do? What do I do? Follow us over here, body, that body part. Follow us over here to death. And they gone in 2 weeks.
That boy Scarface kidneys collapsed. He ain't got no kidney. He on dialysis 4 times a week, 4 days a week. Said that coronavirus almost took him out. Said, man, and he got asthma. So he said it just ended his rap career. He done. He said he done collapsed his kidneys, started filling up his lungs and heart with fluid.
Boy.
Yeah, he said he got to get on the list for a donor now.
I've been on medications for O2, they trying to make it mandatory that you wear a mask. Can't ride the bus now, but she ain't gonna get the vaccine, I have to do it. Make that mandatory, you know.
Until ride the bus.
Yeah, the ride the bus, you gotta wear a mask. You can hear the pain.
See, you ain't gonna never have to wear a mask to drink water on the bus or to eat food on the bus. But they're saying what you can transmit from this and what's just circling up here in front of me. Y'all ever sneeze and see them little crystals? That's what they say the virus is dangling like that in the air. You walk into it.
I had the one bus driver get on, I think got on YouTube or Facebook or something. He was complaining about passengers getting on the bus and just coughing out loud. And 2 months later, he died.
Well, look, I mean, because it's a situation you don't know if it is. I mean, look, you could have a blunt cough, but your significant other be looking like, wait a minute.
So happened to me last night.
Oh, that had an ending to it. That don't have the right ending sound to that cough. Hey, boy, what's happening?
Right. I gotta go.
I ain't got no temperature.
Come on now, you need a teaspoon of bleach? What you need? You need a shot of Lysol down your throat?
I was downstairs smoking, watching TV, cough, you hear the kids upstairs, Corona!
Right. Hell, Acapulco Gold don't cough like that. Look, I mean, that's just where it's at. Because you don't know.
And they don't know.
Look, it's like if you've been on crack and you cleaned up, been clean for 3 years. If there's a purse left on the table, the eyes do meet at the table and look back at you. Wonder if you clean. I know it's been 5 years, but see, I got my stimulus check in there. Boy, let's read some more. Finish that up, Zed.
LC has some.
Oh, what you got, LC?
All praise to the Most High, man, I medication to O2.
Yeah.
And I was so scared with this bullet on the brain, I said, I wish I would worry about the fire. Like, the Most High, if you gonna do something, I would be the first one to know.
Y'all see what he saying? Yo, this just LC got, you ain't got to show him, but just LC got a bullet lodged in his brain. They say this medicine will keep it still. He like, look, if the Most High move it, it's gonna move. Right. But you ain't gonna make me a dope fiend and I got to die anyway. So when it move, who can we blame it on? The medicine? The medicine gonna be up on charges. You moved. You caused that bullet to move, and now he's dead. You're going to jail, bullet or medicine. Who you gonna blame? Right. Y'all, some things we have to trust in the faith of the Most High and understand.
That's right.
That at this point, now if it's something that you got to have, we're not telling you just put all medicine to the side, but medicines are to jumpstart you so your body can take back over what it's supposed to do.
Because the Most High created the physician.
That's right.
They want a bill of clean health too. So because they in the business for saving lives, so they want a good name as well.
That's right.
They want a good name and say, hey, this is one of the best doctors you ain't good at.
Right. Look, Ben Carson ain't got no bad name for opening up brains and working on your brain. His bad name is about being a bootlegger for Trump.
Yeah.
That's what his bad name is about.
It wasn't about his skills. He was a surgeon.
There's been no other surgeon on earth that you can trust. What herbalist Negro around here you gonna trust to open up your skull? Who? I'm talking about, look, quit in the 10th grade and just...
You say he quit in the 10th grade.
No letters of learning and you gonna let him get on your head? No. Ben Carson ain't got no problems or no bad name for working on the brain. I'm talking about when you see a Russian send it over here to an Israelite man, 2 Russian babies that say, it ain't a doctor on the planet. We heard about you, Israelite. And he went to work on the brain. Closed it back up. And when they woke up, they were free of the problem that they had. But he had to go to school for that. He had to learn how to do that. He was trained and skilled like you're a carpenter. You just can't be a carpenter.
Right. Don't know how to read.
Don't know how to read. Come on now. Look, you hollering that. Look. Yeah. I go here. They ain't got no leveler. They ain't gonna know this door crooked. Shit, he got a marble in his pocket. You finish his job. He don't need no leveler. He put a marble up there. When it roll this way, this ain't even. Dang, that nigga pulled a marble trick on me. Tear it all down and start over, and I'm gonna put the marble back up there. Cause you left your leveler at home. No, you ain't getting through on me quickly.
They sure tried me like
Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
Verse 19.
What it say?
And of theft in regard of the place where thou sojournest, and in regard of the truth of Yahweh and his covenant, and to lean with thine elbow upon the meat, and of scorning to give and take.
See, it say you shouldn't even be putting your elbows on the table while you eat. Look, you done got too comfortable. You're heading for gluttonous. When you put you got your plate right here, when both elbows get up here, it's finna be some work done.
That plate don't.
This position, this is a solid foot, and you're ready to ward off anybody that stick a hand over this way. You don't want to be known for that, boy. As soon as you come in the room, oh, time to eat.
Say he guard that plate, boy.
Both elbows on the table, y'all. That's where the term came. Don't put your hands, on the table. That's why you see most people eat the other hand down here like this. That's where it comes from. Eventually, you'll kind of do this, but you're through. Elbow can go up when you're through. But not when the meal is like this and you got both of them here. Boy, you looking for work.
Grabbing stuff on you.
Boy.
Man, my mom slap your hand so quick,
Boy, elbows on the table. They don't care where at the Golden Corral, the Country Buffet, wherever that. Elbow, both of them hit the table. You come in there for business. Where we at? Finish that off there.
Verse 20.
What it say?
And of silence before them that salute thee.
See, and of silence before them that salute thee. Always say, how you going? Somebody say, good morning, how you doing? I mean, where do we go from here? What's up with that nigga? Hey, bro, shalom, how you doing? What that mean to me? That's silence. I don't know what you mean at this point. Okay, this nigga may have some beef. You're like, yeah, shalom, brother, you too. Whatever, but silence? How you not gonna say nothing?
It's more.
Let's read some more. Verse 21 again. Where you at, 20?
I'm gonna read 20 again. And of silence before them that salute thee.
What did them do? What did them do in silence? What they do?
Salute.
They saluted you. Ain't them no orders that keep us from being sodomites for hospitality?
Yes.
Entertain a stranger because you don't know what. It could be what?
An angel. What's so hard about just a greeting?
Let's read some more.
And to look upon a harlot, and to turn away thy face from thy kinsman, or to take away a portion or a gift.
Or a gift, yeah, go ahead.
Or to gaze upon another man's wife.
Boy, how you gonna be stuck, hypnotized, and where your eyes is focused below the waist, and you get caught? What you gonna say?
Wow.
Please don't bust my head.
Okay. But I'm saying, it's saying a gaze, y'all. This ain't like, this means you staring. Look, it says Israel has the most beautiful women on earth. So ain't nothing wrong with the eyes there for looking, but not lusting. Lusting, a gaze come about and the mouth become a gate.
Mouth open. Solid wow.
What, I don't care who you see like this, you gonna look over there too. What the hell is he looking at like that? Hey, mouth a gate?
Somebody else.
What else it say there? That it?
Verse 22. Or to be over busy with his maid.
Uh-oh! Go ahead.
And come not near her bed. Or upbraiding speech before friends, and after thou hast given, upbraid not.
See, over busy with thy maid. Look, there's rules to marriage, whether it's with one woman or two women. If you got one woman, these rules apply for one woman. If you got two women, it still apply. It don't change because of the number of women. The rules stay exactly the same for each woman. You don't merge rules. I can't merge his sins with mine, can I? How you gonna merge law on an individual when it say every tub have to sit on his own bottom? If you agree to law breaking, that's on you. It's not hard. Where my house? You don't get no house, you get a room. The law say, shut up, heifer, shut up, heifer.
Don't raise your voice at me.
The law say, if he do not these three things, get my bags, Junior. I'm free to go. See, not giving a maid, you over busy. If you got 4 or 5, a maid gonna be left undone. I don't care how you slice it. It's gonna be left undone. Somebody gonna get dog water. Somebody gonna have an excuse put on them. Well, you know, I know that I shouldn't have been eating them carrots and that. The poke fried rice, you know, it do mess up some things and I can't perform like I'm supposed to. You're still on for duty, responsibility, do benevolence.
Get it done.
Get it done. Or it's gonna be jealousy, ain't it?
Yes, sir. Have any of y'all seen this thing on Netflix called the Tiger King?
Oh yeah, that boy out of control. Homosexual, he a polygamous homosexual.
But the other dude who he was envious of, who had all the women, had the polygamous, had all the women. Now this cat, he was doing according to law. Every wife had their own house, everything. All of them had their own. But he said the problem he still had, even though all of them had their own everything, jealousy.
Gonna always be.
He said jealousy still was running rampant, even though each one of his wives had everything on their own. They each had their own house, all on his property, but they all had their own individual house. They all had their own wardrobes, all that stuff. But he said that jealousy, he said regardless of how much he gave, jealousy was rampant. He couldn't stop it.
Couldn't stop.
Stop it.
And you know that was chaos.
Some of them just burnt out. It was like, I can't take this no more.
Look, y'all.
Even though he provided them all with everything they wanted.
And y'all, we ain't never saying nothing that's saying it ain't legal. Everything about I can run you 10 scriptures that say it's legal. The problem is with any commandment of the Lord, he says, here's the instructions.
Right.
Don't go against my instructions. Don't alter my instructions. Don't add to my instructions.
Right.
Follow my instructions.
Otherwise you void the guarantee.
Or you void the whole guarantee. The whole thing is corrupt. This is all we saying because it's not being followed by the law. I don't care nothing about what you talking about being married to the white man. Don't care nothing about that. Do benevolence is what the scriptures say. And it say these three things must. They didn't say if you get a good job. It say they must be taken care of under this. And it say, and this on the low end, this a servant girl. This will be a handmaid. She gets that. If you go into her, she get that. She get that. Now you keep playing with the Lord all you want. We know it's legal. But we know what the rules are. When you ain't got no power, if you ain't got a white man's documentation, you still need power of protection. No insurance or nothing on these women. Where's the protection? That's all we saying, y'all. We ain't pounding on this just because we ain't got nothing else to do. What we're talking about is the law. Quit arguing if it's legal. It's something that makes it legal. That's what we have to argue. What makes it legal? And what makes it legal, y'all?
The law. The laws behind it that substantiates it.
Where we at?
Verse 23.
What it say?
Or of iterating and speaking again that which thou hast heard, and of revealing of secrets.
And doing what?
Revealing of secrets. So shalt thou be truly shamefaced and find favor before all men.
You don't do that, you're going to find favor before all men because you ain't caught up in no bull dung. You ain't never caught up in that. Y'all, we're going to get one more. We're going to get on out of here. We still rolling good with go ahead, bro.
Verse 22, we just read about being over busy with your maid.
Right.
And don't come before a bed. That means that you neglecting her, right?
You nigga, look, that's it's simple. It's called due benevolence. If you over busy with your maid, you working too hard. You know what bring that about? Hell, with one woman, what that bring about? Be work all the time. And see what happened.
And then that same 20, the end of that same 22, when he say, and after thou hast given, upbraided not. What does that mean? Don't be an Indian giver or something like that?
Absolutely, bro. Look, or don't complain about after you give somebody something, you gonna chastise them about it.
Until you want to take it back or
Then,
whatever.
I mean, you gonna upbraid them about what you give.
Look, I'm gonna give you this $20, but you better have it by Friday. You know? It's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. See, cause last time I gave you $20, you went and took it, you spent your money on that. How you gonna loan me something? You gonna chastise me like you be like, shit, man,
And tell me
keep
how to
that
spend it. Right. Better not spend it on the liquor.
But keep your 20.
Exactly. That's what I'm asking you for. Exactly. That's right.
Your money won't get up when I ask you for.
Right.
Like having a,
That's what promotes the lies about what you asking for.
Right.
Like-
It is, but it's really for that.
yeah, like having a dog on a chain and you ain't got no job. Let him loose, he can hunt more food than you can feed him. Come on, y'all, where we at?
That's the end of that.
That's the end of that. Let's hit this last. I want to get to just a bit of the death angel when he come, y'all. I was going to get into Ezekiel 18. I'm going to wrap it up there, but I want to rush it up a little bit. Just when the death angel is sent for disobedience. And since we got the education that the Most High never created death, but since death exists, he will send death to accomplish his will. Whether it be to remove you out of this life because you lived a good long life and you know, I'm just taking you away from here. I'm gonna send the death. Go get him now. Stop his heart. I want to leave him right where he's at. I want his righteousness right there. Go ahead and take the breath from him. Go get him and bring him on back to me. Put him in the bosom up here. Look, was Moses? What kind of shape was Moses in when the death angel came and got him? What did it say?
Strength unabated.
Huh?
Strength unabated.
It said that meant he wasn't over busy for his wives. Strength was unabated. He could still go with the best of them. More than 20 minutes. And his vision was what?
Perfect.
He could see from there over to the promised land. But the death angel came and said, I'm taking you in your prime because of that mistake you made at the waters of Meribah. You elevated yourself. And y'all, I don't care when you looking at Moses showed on the Mount of Configuration and you'll pull a script talking about, right there they worship that man. Are you Negroes crazy? Where we at, bro? Let's finish these up. Give me some, I want to get right to the heart of it. Give me some, the death angel, because look, y'all, the death angel gonna be around at the second coming of Messiah. Understand this. Give me some Amos 5:18. Let's start there. Revelation 6 and 9, then I want to just hit these couple death angels and we out of here. Because we need to know how they coming. How he's coming. Look, when the doctor tell you if you sick and you like, give it to me straight, doc, what I'm looking at?
Dying.
You looking at, right, 2 weeks at the most. Boy, I mean, that's what they say. I'm going to give it to me straight, doc, how long? So you know at that point, unless I keep him off, but look, you only stay in him for a time anyway because you still got to die. Hezekiah said, Lord, not today, please. He said, okay, Hezekiah. Never told him how much longer. He said, I'm gonna extend this for you, bro. 15 years he put on that, but that's 50. You know how fast them 15 years came? And we was right back to the same position again. But at that point, he knew the Lord would let him live again. Right. Look, y'all, I just had a partner. I talked to him when I was in Vegas back on March 6th. He wanted me to do a party for him today, and he had been on my mind. Don't know why I called him. I have to quit that. But he called me. He had cancer he'd been battling for 10 to 12 years. Just reporting that I'm cancer free 2 weeks ago. Guess what jumped on? Corona guy. So he beat that. But death say, oh, I forgot to tell you, my partner here. He got some work he want to put in. Y'all, this the last enemy, y'all, we dealing with. So, worrying about your mama. That's why he said, let the dead bury the dead. Worrying about what's going to happen at work. This enemy, this last enemy, y'all, rides even after the grave. You talking about a Terminator. I just want to hit them last two where we show that last enemy being thrown in the grave. Go ahead. Huh?
What exactly does that mean?
What's that?
Let the dead bury the dead.
Just basically anybody mind that's on the world, let them handle burying dead people.
Deal with that. Let them deal with those issues.
Right.
Concentrate. Keep your mind on the kingdom. Everything that you need to do to get to the kingdom, let your mind be on that. Let your meditation be on that. The law, statutes, judgments, that which you're going to get into that will get you into the kingdom. Not on worldly matters, earthly matters that most people run after, because he says there's enmity between the world and the Most High. So he says they are already dead because they have already chosen death.
Right.
They've chosen to ride with Satan.
Because
disobedience.
He said, follow me. So, but suffer me to go back and bury my father. See, so some say, ain't that a violation to honor your mother and your father? Ain't you supposed to bury him? Not when the king of the world is here. That made a difference, y'all. Look, if the second coming happened and he say, don't come off your rooftop. You can't say, well, Lord, let me go check and see if my mama ready. He said, you cannot do it.
She got the same opportunities you got.
If she's not ready, the dead will bury her. But if you want to live, don't go back in the house. Look, if you can't go back in your house if you're on the roof, you know what that means. There's no margin for error. There's no margin for wasted time. It's going to happen right here. Don't you go back down there. If you're out in the field, don't go back home. My wife and children at home. If you were doing your work, you'll see them.
They'd be gone too.
You'll see them.
So that's why he said, don't worry about that. They have their issues. They're going to deal with it. You have yours. You need to walk this way. Let them walk that way.
What's this purpose of lighting the menorah?
Oh, you know what we about,
The
brother.
lighting of the menorah.
Understand.
Oh, well, it's just dedication. We just started off we started off in the what's in the temple. At 1 Corinthians 15, we talked about the menorah and the 7 churches and the menorah for that. So we just do it symbolically now, but Feast of Dedication requires it to be lit, doing that. And then it's in front of the 7 candlesticks, which are the 7 churches, but it's just a representation of that. Just like we wear fringes as a representation, to keep the law in our mind, but really we have to look to the Holy Spirit. Fringes will never get inside of your heart and make you do the right thing. If that's the case, then the clothes will be worshipped.
And then are there fringes up on the white robes given?
That's right. And not only that, but Abraham was led by the Spirit, not by fringes. So Abraham never wore fringes.
Will fringes stop sin from entering your mind?
Right.
Beats and rain.
Negro be wearing fringes, sinning like I don't know.
See, Abraham never wore fringes nor was circumcised till he was almost 100 years old.
That's right.
So y'all have to understand, but it say he kept every law. That was not a law until the wilderness. It had to be added, but it was added for transgression, right? For disobedience. There was a law added because he told you, don't you go out there and mess with them sticks. So we don't have a law to get hard-headed like that for this one right here. Okay, create a law. And not only this, but see how the Most High always put a foolproof plan so he won't be able to have an excuse. Put some fringes on. That Negro went out there with his fringes on and still picked up sticks. So it don't matter what we're talking about. See, because in his mind, he could have been conjuring up something. I'm going to act like I'm just brushing these old sticks. I'm going to have my fringes on so I can fool somebody. But Junior, you bring the wagon over there and hide it
See, he
behind
was
there,
already
and I'm gonna load it up with some things.
It was already manifested in his conscience that he was deliberately breaking the law.
Yeah,
That's where the problem came. He deliberately did it.
yeah.
Basically to prove a point. You know, I'm gonna show you I can do it and ain't nothing gonna happen.
Right.
You know, like cats do today.
Yeah.
Oh, eat swine up. Watch me eat
Watch me do
turd to
this.
this pig and sandwich.
Yeah.
And they eat it in front of you like,
yeah, you want some, nigga.
don't you?
Nigga, you
Like,
remember?
nah.
Yeah, you used to be first at the table.
Have at it, homie. Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself in your disobedience. Have at it. Let's read. Let's finish this up. Amos 5:18. Y'all, I'm gonna run through these, y'all. I just want to tighten up on the death angel, y'all. We're gonna close on out. We got about, what do we got? Let me see.
Give us a count.
9 minutes.
How many minutes you wanna make?
9 minutes and 37 seconds. Yeah, 4 to 5 o'clock hour. Yes, sir.
That is what?
5:18.
All right, Amos chapter 5, verse 18.
Yo, because this is the day of the Lord, and y'all, guess what's gonna be present on the day of the Lord? Death. See, y'all, this is what we have to put in our mind, that old enemy is there at the second coming. This whole enemy keep hanging around, and until he's completely down, there will be no peace. There will be none. As long as somebody dying, there's gonna be some mourning, ain't it? Messiah wept for Lazarus, didn't he? Let's read some more.
Amos chapter 5, verse 18.
What it say?
Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord.
Don't we all desire the day of the Lord? But there's a problem here. There's a woe to it. Let's read.
To what end is it for you?
Uh-oh. Who can tell what the end is for them? You seen your name in the book of life. How you gonna holler I'm saved? You must have seen it. Or you got that stone with your name on it in your hand. All I'm gonna ask you, let me see the stone. What? This nigga high on something. What stone he talking about? The one which supposed to be your name on it. You said you saved. You free from the second death. Where's that stone at? I don't want to keep on talking and fat mouthing, and I ain't stealing your joy. You done stole your joy if you ain't got that stone.
Oh, niggas gonna get to start shaking and trembling in, boy, like, oh.
Let's read.
The day of the Lord is darkened.
What is it?
It's darkened and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him.
Boy.
Or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assembly.
We can hold that because that's a whole taking it a whole different way, but he's talking to Israel. See, and that's the reason he say, what's the day of the Lord? You having feast days for me? You ain't got a clue. If you was just there picnicking at a feast day, if you wasn't counting the way you supposed to do, you just taking this as somewhere to be eaten. He said you have houses to eat in. If you looking at this any other way, it's going to be a problem. Hold on, I just want to get that. Give me the Revelation 6 and 9. And then we're going to hit these three death angels, y'all. We're going to call it a day. We're going to finish up Revelation 20. We're going to speed that up. Just give me Revelation 6 and 9. I don't want nothing but that one verse, because this is the dead that's waiting on Ecclesiasticus 12. They're waiting to come from being resurrected to see what their outcome is. Look, you got the promise, but you ain't got it yet. You've been sealed. You guaranteed you're going to graduate, so to speak. You got all your credits, but you ain't walked across the stage yet.
Right.
What you got back there, L9?
Yeah, I want to read Proverbs 17, 9-11.
What it say?
It said, he that covers a transgression, seeketh love, but he that heedeth a matter, separated from every friend.
See, he that covereth a transgression, well, we talking about covering, I don't do that no more, y'all. I gave up that narcotic. But if you keep on and sneaking back with that narcotic, you're going to separate from every friends, ain't you? Because it's the friends that only care about you. The streets don't care about no nigga out in the street, do it? No.
streets ain't
That's
nothing.
why dope dealers, dope addicts be busted up if they on the streets. Head split open, lips split open, black eyes, you still chasing that ghost. You know, it's like what Elijah was saying, you can go, that 12th step, you can go, and they send you way out to Boone County, where your family members know they've been come out there to visit you, especially with them bad plates. You call home, it's been 2 weeks, I ain't touched nothing. You can't touch nothing. You out there. The problem is death and Satan is waiting on you when you come back because you didn't check in there for life. 2 weeks till they clean you out. Then they send you back here, back to the jungle for your test. And guess what's out here when you get back? Dog heard you was gone.
I got a double up for
All these for what you used to pay for one. What you used to pay for one.
All of them?
Boy. Look, like you gonna say no if I do that.
All of them. You said, well.
But you got to come back to the block, and that's where your test at. Once you beat the test on the block, he's gonna tell the rest of the deal. Hey, he ain't messing around no more. We got to get another sucker. He through with that. And you lying, he ain't through what else I bet. He through, man, I'm telling you. I tried to get a nigga. Let's get it, y'all.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 9.
See, because what's gonna happen, let me just say this. If you don't beat this when you get out, you know what's gonna happen, what you're gonna try to do? You're gonna get a little piece of money and you're gonna try to go buy a gold chain. You're gonna try to buy them same slacks you used to wear. But you're only fooling the people because you're letting them look at the outer cup and they think he must be back. He wearing them gators again. Them gators going to the pawn shop Monday. That chain going, it gonna be pawned off Monday. This was just to let y'all see in the club so I can fool y'all that I was back. But underneath these gators and these slacks, I'm thirsting for some dope. Boy.
What you got in there?
Finish up, Elder.
was verse 10. A reproof entered more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. Verse 11. An evil man seeketh only rebellion. Therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him.
Uh-oh, we finna read about the cruel messenger. We finna bring up, great script, bro. We finna bring up the cruel messenger sent to you. Let's finish this up, 6 and 9 really quick, y'all, and then we're gonna hit these last few, y'all. We're gonna close it on out.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 9.
What it say?
And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh.
What was they slain for?
The word of Yahweh.
See, they were slain for the law of Yahweh that they kept. That's the word that they kept. They kept his law and they killed you for it. It's automatic entrance into the kingdom. Go ahead.
And for the testimony which they hid.
See the two part? They had to be, it's a testimony that they was killed for. Because they kept speaking the word of the Lord, so they were put to death. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled.
So you got to go back to sleep. It's another round of your brethren and servants like yourself. Notice what it said, brethren and servants, didn't it? It didn't say no captains or generals, did it?
No.
Like you were. Once we get past that, then the end shall come. But let me give y'all stone right now. Let me give you your clothes right now.
He said fellow servants.
Look, you got your stone and your robe to the Feast of Tabernacles. You got your gear.
No fringes on that.
No, come on. Lay on down. Go back and lay down.
Maybe they under the.
Where we at, y'all? Let's get this right quick, y'all.
2 Samuel.
2 Samuel 24:15. Give me 1 Peter 5:8. And Enoch 15. We're gonna just go hit the one liners, y'all. We're gonna close out with Revelation 20 because we're gonna see that last enemy, what happens to him, that we don't have to worry about him no more. Y'all talk about enemy free. How you run from here where niggas try to kill you the most, and then you'll run out into a county where white folks are trying to kill you. Death is still on the table, and where you gonna run from death? And it says there's no discharge in that wall. Man, I know a place where man, they didn't pull their stripes off. Death all around them, man. They don't mess with nobody. Where that's at?
For the Negro?
Anybody, where is that?
On this earth?
Where we at?
2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 15.
You can back it up if you need to.
2 Samuel what?
24. And y'all, this is about David numbering Israel. Y'all start at verse 1, but we're gonna start at verse 15. So y'all, we see, what pestilence come in from, but this was about David numbering Israel. Now you got some naysayers say, well, see, Chronicles don't say that. It says Satan sent him to number it. But what we keep talking about is subject matter. When you see verse 1, it says Israel moved the Lord to cause David to do it. It's still the same information. Bad behavior. David will be doing it because he won't do it anyway. That's Satan. And the other one just telling you exactly how Satan talked to David. David had a choice at that point. And when we get into this verse, you're going to know he already knew because he imagined and Satan the thing. This nigga thinking about doing it. He thinking about numbers.
Yep.
And all he do is show you battle of array of the Philistines and somebody else. David, we weren't supposed to show our numbers like that to no other nation. Scrap. Show you for what?
It's like showing your boy everything you didn't acquire, all your riches, and trusting that he ain't gonna come to your house and pay you a visit.
Shit. Let's get it. So y'all, 1 through 14, who got a question?
LC.
Yeah. Look, because look, people get strategy on you like that. But see, our strategy is 2 or more. He's with us. So we don't need a whole lot of numbers. So ain't no need in talking to no other nations like our army is this big. Our army only need 2, at the most 3.
Right.
That's all you need for an army. How many will fall by your side?
10,000.
Y'all do the math.
You say you send 10,000 a flight.
Yep.
Let's get it real quick, y'all.
2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 15.
What it say?
So the Lord sent a pestilence unto Israel
Go ahead.
from the morning even till the time appointed. And there died of the people from Dan even unto Beersheba 70,000 men. And when the angel stretched out his hand unto Jerusalem to destroy it, the Lord repented him of the evil, and said to the angel that destroyed the people, it is enough.
It is a what?
It is enough.
See, he had stretched it all the way out from Dan to Beersheba. Man, this death angel was putting Israelites down. Putting them down at David's hands. Putting them down. And then he said, let's move to Jerusalem. It's like when you see a storm coming, you can see it's raining over there. But as it's getting close to you and you start to see them trees and wind blowing, you already done read the destruction back there before it's getting to you. So you waiting on it to come like that. And the Most High say, that's enough. Cut it off. And guess what'll happen? A rainbow will come out and the sun will start shining. You be like, what?
Man, I just knew it was going to go down.
I thought I was gone.
So what'd he do, bro? Read that again. 16.
All right, verse 16. And when the angel stretched out his hand unto Jerusalem to destroy it, the Lord repented him of the evil, and said to the angel that destroyed the people, it is enough. Stay now thine hand.
So he's talking to an individual, ain't he? Go ahead.
And the angel of the Lord was by the threshing place of, how you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Arona, the Jebusite. And David spake unto the Lord when he saw the angel that smote the people, and said, lo, I have seen.
I have done what?
I have seen.
It didn't take him no rocket science. He looking at this. He like, this about that number. What else could it be about? I have seen. Go ahead. What else you say?
And I have done wickedly. But these sheep, what have they done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, be against me and against my father's house.
So we can hold there and you can go on and you can see what David choices he will. He like, David, you don't get to dictate to me what happens when the day. I say, I tell you what, this gonna be the deal. You get 3 years of some more death or 3 years of more famine. Which one you want? Boy, ain't that what kind of decision is that? Will the famine bring on death?
Yes.
Or I can go ahead and just take care of everybody right now for you.
Right.
3 years worth. Your choice, partner, for what you did. Now, if he don't, this David, who we've been reading about, talked about, who the Messiah was going to come through his line, if he's talking to him like that, what are we looking for, y'all? Same thing if we do the same thing, because David is not above us. He's a fellow servant.
Fellow servant brethren.
He died like we gonna die. His sepulcher is with us to this day. Ain't that what the word say?
He say David is not ascended into the heavens.
1 Peter 5 and 8, Enoch 15, y'all. Just hit them one-liners because we need to know how evil spirits, how the death angel come by them, because they come by form. Those giants' offspring, they cannot die off because part of them are supernatural and part of them are flesh. But the Most High used them for disobedience. An evil spirit will never come on a righteous man. Where we at? 1 Peter 5 and 8. Give me that real quick, y'all. Somebody give me that Enoch 15 really quick.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour.
See, your adversary, as a roaring lion, walks about all day. That's his job. His job is not to help you. His job has no purpose to heal anybody. It's looking for pure devouring. Would you let your little shih tzu out in the backyard and you know they say there's pythons on the loose? Hurry up, go use it, hurry up. And it's gone. What you gonna do, run out there and try to turn it loose? When he pull it and roll it up and go back up into them bushes, what you gonna do but be hollering?
Be like, oh.
That's how quick the devil will come. That's how quick he'll come, and we'll sit and roll you up and take it, and all we can do is holler, hey, hey, man! Let's finish this up. Where we at?
Verse 9.
What it say?
Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. But the God of all grace, who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Christ Jesus, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect.
Make you perfect after you just suffered a while. It ain't continuous, y'all. Give me some of that Enoch 15. I just want to the part, and these evil spirits are from the giants. Y'all know what I want. Who got it up? Who got Enoch 15 up? Anybody got that Enoch? Let's get that really quick. If not, somebody grab Revelation 20. Will y'all read Enoch 15? Hosea got it. Really quickly, just give me the point right there. Evil spirits are offspring of the giant. That's what I want.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
But now the giants who are born from the union of the spirits and the flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth.
See, the giants from the union of women and supernatural beings shall be called evil spirits on the what?
Earth.
See, they're not in the heavens. They're on the earth. Go ahead.
Because their dwellings shall be upon the earth.
What should their dwellings be?
Upon the earth.
So the Most High don't send evil from his throne. Get it out your mind, he created evil. Right. The beginning was on earth. That's what they do they dirt at. Go ahead, bro, read some more.
And inside the earth.
And inside what?
The earth.
Okay.
Evil spirits have come out of their bodies, because from the day that they were created, from the holy ones that became the watchers, their first origin is the spiritual foundation.
See, so the first origin was the fallen angels fell. They had offspring. Them offsprings can't go up there. See, even that flesh and blood can't go up there because it's wicked. You do this work down here. That's what he sent to Saul. David used to play it away. Right. Saul would just go crazy. David be sitting there, he just throw a javelin at him and pierce his ear. David like this, why am I get tired? And get to playing, and finally he just calm down. Music soothes a savage beast. But that was an evil spirit on him. Y'all, and that's what's rocking us today, left over from the giants. That's what, now a demon is something different.
Right.
That's a totally different from this group right here. Them demons are that 1/3 that fell with Satan. Those are devils and demons. The evil spirits are the ones just torment you when you get off track. Send him an evil spirit to straighten his nonsense off, see if he get his mind straight. Right. But when them demons come, they host the body.
Yeah, they influence. So they fall.
That's when they be tying you up and you can't get it loose.
Turn at you. So those ones require certain instructions to get rid of it.
Yeah, you got to starve them out. You may have to do like Tobit did with that demon that was attacking that woman. Like, you got to get some fish gall over. You got to smoke him out. So y'all hold that. Let me get Revelation 20, y'all. We close out. Y'all, and this is just because it's going to wrap it all up so we understand when our last enemy go, y'all. But look, in that light, 2 Peter 3:8. Psalms 90 and 10, all of them say a day to us. 1,000 years to us is as one day to the Lord. So if we're in the day of the Lord, how long could possibly the millennium last?
1 day.
Go ahead.
So a demon is a fallen angel.
Satan and his crew, that third. Those are demons and devils. Yeah, fallen angels. Yeah. Now those are the ones when you play with a Ouija board, you have to conjure them up. See, you could be player hating and an evil spirit will come to you and just whisper in your ear, go kill that nigga. See, but a demon get inside you, you gonna know it's there because he start foaming at the mouth, then he'll run up that wall. And where you gonna run then? I'm talking about if he run up that wall and be crawling backwards like this room will be empty. Now you may hear a lot of gunplay.
Oh yeah, you're gonna hear some gunplay. But it's gonna be emptied out.
Boy, you talking about social distancing. Let's get that Revelation 20, y'all get out of here.
Elisha, you got that, bro?
Yes, sir. 20 and what?
21.
21.
Yeah.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 1.
What it say?
And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil.
Which is who?
The devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
So the angel that came out, this was angel of the bottomless pit. So he's in the bottomless pit. So is he using angels? Rough angels to deal with? He may be using one of the watchers to handle Satan and bound him because he came out of a bottomless pit. He didn't come from the realms of the Most High. See, the Most High don't waste nothing. You want to play dirty? I'll let dirty people. I'm not going to give a clean individual to play with dirty. Dirty play with dirty. That's why there's no honor among thieves. A bank robber ain't going to go riding with nobody and know he could be turned in, will he? Unless he's tricking it.
Hades was cussing out Satan like, boy, you know.
Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 2, verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season.
So y'all, this is what we're talking about. Even after we get in the kingdom, that scoundrel is still around for a little while. We better hope that the millennial period is a day in spiritual time. Let's get some more. Because he going to be mad as hell getting out of jail, ain't he?
Yeah.
Let's read what else to say.
Seeking revenge.
Right.
Verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shah, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their forehead or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahweh 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection.
This is the first resurrection. You make the first resurrection, the second one ain't got no power. But look at this, it say, but these were resurrected. The rest of the dead still sleep.
Yep.
See, so the millennium ain't for all dead people, judgment like that. It's saying a lot of them stay asleep. Until. This first one is for those that have given their life. This first one, they went to the grave believing it. They must be resurrected first because they laid their life on the line.
First dibs.
First dibs. What you got, brother?
Now, is that 1,000 biblical years or 1,000 Bible?
That's the mystery. I'll show you a mystery. See, we ain't never been into eternal time, so we don't know how it goes. But if he telling you 1,000 of your years is as one day, and David said, I believe it's Psalm 115 when he say it's like 1,000 days in your time is like yesternight. That's how quick 1,000 years. And you think, well, man, Methuselah live a long time. David said that's like last night. That amount of time is like last night. If you're saying we getting old and not time flying by, you see this boy when his child in the kindergarten now he tell you he finna graduate, you be like, what time go? Gone. That's what time at. It don't wait on who? Nobody. Let's read some more. Go ahead, we're gonna finish this out, y'all.
Verse 6. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection.
Right.
On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of Yahweh and of Yahweh Shah.
You missed that. It said they should be high priests in general.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't miss that.
Okay, go ahead, read again.
They missed that.
Okay, right. Go ahead, boy.
And of Yahweh Shah, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, God and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
Now notice this, we went back to the land prophecy of getting off the ark of the three boys. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Who was the father of Gog land and Magog land? Japheth. So this is land prophecy. Who's ever in that land ruling at that time. Then we got prophecy for the three boys, Ishmael, Esau, and Jacob. All the rest of the prophecies for the end of time are surrounding them three boys as individuals, but then we got the land prophecies. That's what it boils down to, because Ishmael and Esau battling for a land that don't belong to them, ain't it?
Right.
Let's get it. Where we at?
9. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city.
And the what?
Beloved city. And fire came down from Yahweh out of heaven, and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever.
Now, there's somebody still missing out of there. We got all three parts there. We got Satan, that old devil. We got the false prophet and the Antichrist. What's still missing?
Yes.
Let's read some more.
And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. And there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Yahweh. And the books were open. Another book was opened, which is the book of life.
What is it?
The book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works.
Now it's according to their works. You didn't die for the Messiah, but it's according to how you kept the law, like that Romans you speak of. Natural law. Look, we was going through slavery. What laws can we keep? Could we do the Passover like we wanted to? But there's rules under bondage. Just what I'm talking about, bondman and free man. There's certain laws as a slave you had to obey, even though they wouldn't let you read. There's still a side of this that the Messiah say, I'm going to get them back for extending the affliction. That Zechariah talk about. Because when you put in bondage, he said, I didn't tell you to do them like that. Make them work. put feathers on them, like it say in that second Ezra, when it say Abraham, it just say, and if he go away from you, put some feathers on him, but don't kill him. What good is a servant if you kill him? Right. Those were the rules they were supposed to follow, but they didn't. So according to those rules, the Lord tells us how to live under those rules. You know how to live in jail, don't you? You follow rules in jail, don't you?
When I was locked up, I didn't eat no swine.
They give you Bible in jail, don't they? Let's read some more. Finish that off.
Didn't have to eat no swine. I ate all the vegetables, even though they was nasty as hell.
Boy,
I ate the pulse and the vegetables.
That's it.
I ate the meat to all the other cats. Right.
Boy, cause a tore up stomach and you can't leave out, and there ain't no air moving. Boy, I'm talking about eating all of that and boy, and cramped up in there. I'm talking about gas and be visible on the cell block.
No. And if you look at Roots, remember Kunta Kinte didn't eat the swine.
Right.
He ate the grits, but he told him you keep that swine.
Keep that
smacked
swine.
it out his hand.
Grits, now man. Go ahead. Where we at?
13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it.
And the sea gave up the dead. Bin Laden come out of it. Didn't they bury him at sea? We say we lost 100 million on the way over here at sea. Go ahead, bro.
And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in him.
Now look, death and hell give up they dead now. See, so death and hell is still around. Hell being just the grave. Death is what caused you to go to the grave. Then death and hell start releasing. All right, y'all can go and let loose. But who's still left?
Yeah.
What enemy still left? Yeah. Until when? Let's finish that off, Elijah.
And they
Read
were
14
judged.
again.
Okay. 13 again. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
Who was cast into the lake of fire?
Death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
This is what?
The second death.
That's the final death, y'all, when death and hell are cast, and their death and hell is now being tormented. It's where you're with your favorites. You can spend eternity with your favorites. It's called the reproduction of death. It's just like Isaiah 65. When he talk about in verse 20, and then shall dust be the serpent's meat when the lamb lay down with the lion, and then shall dust be the serpent. Serpent didn't do no dust in the Garden of Eden. It's coming here because fire gonna burn them to stubble. So that's your food, Satan. All them you trick, they right here. Guess what? The death angel right here to laugh. I remember when I killed you, when I took you from over there when you and your mama was at the flea market, I killed your ass. Death gonna be there still tormenting. All of that's in the lake of fire now. That's for torments.
Forever.
Forever. Death is in torments. Until that happens, y'all, ain't no peace. Especially to the wicked. We can call it a day, y'all. Anybody got any questions or concerns out there? Oh, you ain't finished that? Okay.
Oh, okay. Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
Oh, boy. Look, y'all don't want him like this. Look, he started up here looking for your name. You say your last name is Adams. Okay. You should be at the front of the book. And now he right here and he's still flipping. I still don't see Jeffrey Adams. You're not in the book. Can you look back again? Look like you didn't lick your fingers when you was going.
No need to look back again.
In that Enoch 103, it say a record of your evil deeds will be read aloud.
Oh, boy, that's what we're talking about. But we're talking about the imagination of them. So when you tell a friend, no, man, you know I didn't mean it like that, the imagination is going to be shown to your friend what he really meant. Is that you? Is them the same clothes you had on?
They did that on first one.
Yo, it's gonna be a different version of a familiar spirit.
Dude murdered.
It's gonna be you.
Murdered the sister around the underground mall down in Atlanta. Now there's surveillance cameras everywhere around that place, all the way from the
They ain't saying nothing.
convenience store.
They ain't saying nothing. Go ahead, let's
All the way from the convenience store where he met the young lady. Cameras follow him all the way down to where he murdered. He even got him on camera shooting the girl twice in the head.
Boy.
He don't know how much evidence they got on him.
That's the thing.
He like, no, I
You know what the devil told? They don't never check that film in
Yeah,
their cameras.
don't.
They probably didn't put no
They
tape in
probably
there.
don't work. Man, he said, well, let me show you something. He said, is this you? Yeah, that's me. He said, okay. Is that one you? Yeah, that's me. He said, now, that's the young lady that we found dead. And you walking with her. No, she behind me. He said, okay. He said, all right. He said, I tell you what. He said, I got a video I want you to watch. Show him walking down the steps with the female, got on he a construction worker, got on everything. He said, is that you? Oh, it don't look like, he said, hold on. This you right here in this photo, this you in this photo. This the same clothes, everything, this the same young lady.
Must have been a different video.
Now you beat her up and now you shoot her twice in the head.
Look,
and now you go.
It'd be like bait
Over
car.
$8.
It look be like bait car. They pull a car with the keys in it and it's running, and you circle it 10 times looking around. And then when you get in and take off, you driving good by. Where you want to stop? Let's stop at the liquor store first. Then first thing you say, tell them it's my auntie car. She let us use it, and then we like this. And they filming the whole thing. They filming the lie, and then they show you the lie. What's your auntie name that you're talking about? Who you get this car from? Might as well stop lying.
The door's locked, you can't even get out.
Boy, come on, the door's locked. You can't get out. Sure can't, boy.
Boy, they lock it all down.
Them kick-proof glasses. Let's get it, y'all. Let's close this out. They good out there in Sabbath land out there, our fellow servants and brethren. They good out there?
Yes,
No
sir.
questions or concerns?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
I will get to closing prayer with the Most High's permission.
Yes, sir.
In the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, our
Mighty Redeemer.
Almighty Redeemer.
Yes, sir.
That stuff.
Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. We know him around here as Jesus the Christ. Y'all crazy.
Yeah.
All to the day. Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 111th chapter, it reads, praise ye the Most High. I will praise the Most High with my whole heart, in the assembly of the upright, and in the congregation. The works of Yahweh are great, sought out of all them that have pleasure therein. His work is honorable and glorious, and his righteousness endureth forever. He hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Most High is gracious and full of compassion. He hath given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant. He hath showed his people the power of his works, that he may give them the heritage of the heathen. The works of his hands are verity and judgment. All his commandments are sure. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. He sent redemption unto his people. He hath commanded his covenant forever. Holy and reverend is his name. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever.
Hallelujah! Say yes, sir. Really appreciate it. Thank y'all out there in the worldwide audience. Thank you for your continued support of the ministry. Greatly appreciate it, y'all. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. I just in my pocket,
But hey, your conscience gonna bear witness on you.
Whatever you do.
Whoever do that, put on that 60 you gonna go
Yes, sir. If you do it, my brother. Look, whoever do it, here. Look, if you do it.